Hello there! From behind the O-line, this is Trammin, episode 280. My name is Kirk, and today I'm joined by my friend and man in space, Freddy.
Ahoy there! Our Big Thunder topic of the week is Walt Disney's Tomorrowland 1955.
To the moon!
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. As a courtesy to other passengers, we ask that there be no eating, drinking, or smoking on board. In just a few moments, we will begin our trip into the Disneyland Resort news and topic of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, this tram is ready to depart. Driver, you are clear.
Welcome back to Trammin, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We're your hosts, Kirk and Freddy. What's up, Freddy?
Hey, happy to be back on the pod for our final episode in the 1955 series. Really excited.
And your final episode ever. You're never allowed back in my house.
Oh my God, yeah, I've taken up too much space.
The people like you, so you could stay. But we'll have I got some other plans. We're gonna take a little, not a break from you. We need to let you cook with what's next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. I need some time to, kind of, let's plan this, next phase out.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, this was kind of a whole experiment in like, hey, can we do this sort of arced series? Can we kind of tell this overall story? And going forward, I hope we get to do that more. Even going out of this is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just we're chilling. This is the last 1955 episode. And we got some more fun history stuff coming. But for now, let's get rid of all traces of Freddy with housekeeping. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast where we talk about the Disneyland Resort through and only through our eyes. Listen to full episodes every Wednesday or topic-only uploads on Big Thunder Thursdays. If you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, comment, and review us wherever you can, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Rain's favorite, YouTube. Head to Trammin.com to write in to the show, find our socials, and request access to our Discord. You should do that so you can message us directly.
Yeah, Discord's the way to go.
You can find all these links and lore on Trammin.com. And you can also find a link to Tiki Kingdom, Rain's Tiki shirt company. You can use code Trammin10 to get 10% off. New Tiki Mountain Matterhorn shirt.
Yeah.
I say his best work. I believe Jungle Cruise is... next.
Jungle Cruise came out as well. So they're both out.
But that's a pre-order. And he said, I think he's done with the pre-order thing.
Yeah, he's done with the pre-order thing, but he actually has the Jungle Cruise one. So we had them at the last pop-up that he had. So he has them in stock. So it shouldn't... I don't think it's pre-order.
Yeah, he's not here, but I believe Freddy.
Yeah.
I'm like super not involved with Tiki Kingdom unless Rain asks.
Yeah.
So
we just support him and rep it when we can. I definitely I pre-ordered the Matterhorn shirt. It still hasn't arrived yet. I'm also believe that Rain just might give it to me when we're hanging out.
I might wear the Oswald shirt Wednesday. Are you're not going to do that, are you?
I'm not going to wear the Oswald shirt. So this is great. This is
we
perfect.
don't want this faux pas.
No.
Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, check that out. The Matterhorn shirt is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
All the shirts are cotton except Jungle Book and Lion King, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Those are polyester. Those are more like Kunu Flex. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, like the Roosevelt's shirts.
Yeah, which people like them. So
yeah.
I
have a few,
And check out if you're local or in California, you want some sourdough. Bubblina's Baked Goods. BUBBLINAS.com. That's Christine's little outfit. I bought many rolls. I bought a lot this week. I ordered 4 pepperoni pizza rolls.
Whoa.
They're not like Totino's. They're not bagel bites. They're just, it's like a little meat surprise inside, which, we all love from time to time. But it's still sourdough. It's pretty good. Honestly, the classic sourdough is just, it's so good. A good sourdough. Yeah. It is a good sourdough.
You can't go wrong with that.
But I finally tried the salted chocolate chip banana bread.
Oh boy.
And I took it to Kimmy's family's house. Crazy crazy good. So I recommend that one as well. And I think we might have more to say about it later. Not much more, but a little more. But yeah, Trammin 10 over there too. So yeah, go check that out. But for now, let's get in some news. Got some headlines for you guys. First up, and these come from Scott Gustin, so they may be quotes from him as well, so full credit. Except the headlines, those are mine. There's only room for one emporium in these parts.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't realize what that was, even though I wrote it. So I got to do the roll it back. There's only room for one emporium in these parts.
Yeah, there it is.
D23 says the Fan Emporium, where vendors and collectors would set up booths and tables, will not be offered at the 2026 D23 Expo event in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And they said that they have a curated experience and they just need more. It sounds like they just need more space for Disney stuff.
They absolutely do.
I believe some of this is like, it's probably more trouble than it's worth for Disney because they're not making much off this. They're probably getting some dumb little vendor fee.
Yeah, absolutely
but,
not.
It also, now I will say this is a negative, but there's probably no room for anything over there these days. Everything's a giant panel, a giant display, a giant booth. Like that's kind of the name of the game at conventions. I mean, we're at a trade show right now. My company, we're in FabTech, and we don't get booths smaller than 30 by 30.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. We have every other year there's a big show called IMTS. We get a 20 by 50. It's a big booth, but yeah, you need that you need to stand out. And I know this isn't like they're competing over there, but people like exploring a whole booth and seeing a bunch of things.
Well, and as it being a brand activation, as the industry calls it, it's the type of thing where like the bigger Disney gets and the more stuff that it has to showcase, it wants to be able to put that out there in physical form. You can almost think of it as a pop-up theme park. And that's kind of how I view D23. And there's that whole side that is the emporium of like, it's all like it's like pin and merchandise resellers. And a bunch of, sort of fan podcasts will take up space or different news sites. But like, that's kind of what that space was. And, that's kind of fun. Sometimes they'll have an artist alley and that's really cool. But with D23 becoming what it is, and it kind of always has been, it's like, this is for Disney to announce stuff. This is for fans to go and integrate with that and purchase Disney merchandise and all this other stuff. Disney doesn't want this around. They kind of needed it to fill out the void when D23 was early in its days and it couldn't fill the whole convention center. And now it's bursting at the seams, Yeah,
and this is kind of like a, not misquote, but a little mistake from, if this was Scott Gustin, it's not the D23 Expo anymore. It's D23, the ultimate Disney fan event.
They changed the name. It's not an exposition anymore.
So I'll give two positives here. One, if you want these kinds of things, check out Toontown Market.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
Every 2 weeks, seemingly.
And we'll get to the bigger point of Toontown Market they announced that they're doing a Toontown convention on November 29th and 30th, and that will be in the Anaheim Convention Center. So I would expect stuff like this to fill that void of, you're going to have Disney doing its official fan event, and then you're going to have sort of the Disney fans doing their own thing separate from Disney. That is going to allow them to have that of, third parties like Shirt Farm or Tiki Kingdom getting to showcase their stuff in that sort of a space. And if it's going to become a larger convention, that they're going to be doing like other panels with former Imagineers, stuff like that, stuff that D23 wouldn't necessarily touch these days.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to give a shout out to one more. But I want to, like, why do you think Disney hasn't cracked down on these things?
So to a certain extent, it's allowed. It's like they can do this, It's like, and it's interesting.
Like you see a pin and it's got a Mickey hat on it with Mickey ears, and they're just like, they don't. Are they over it?
I think at a small enough volume and production, it's not. it's kind of like person to person, like, oh, I created a piece of art and I'm going to share this one piece of art with you and sell it for a price, versus if it's mass manufacturing. I think that's where you get in trouble. Where if this stuff is handmade, if it's made in very small numbers, small scale, that's great. But if you were to, like, say, go to China, it's like, I want to make my own Mickey hat pin and I want to make 10,000 of them.
Yeah, it's like,
now you're going to get in trouble with Disney.
it's like, oh, how many shirts is Tiki Kingdom selling per line? 77. All right.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the
like Rain.
key.
By the way, that's not a dig. Rain prints 77 shirts. It's like the whole, his whole thing.
Oh, it's good. It's you have a limited number of these things, and it's not going to get re-released, and you're not just doing it all the time, and you're not doing it at a mass-produced scale. And I think that's what gets you in trouble with Disney. Disney has cracked down on certain things, like people who were making Mickey Mouse ears for a while and like mass producing them, they got in trouble. They got sued. So there's a lot of situations like that would take place, or resellers who are selling at a high volume.
So first I want to give a shout out. Art by Ryan M. That's Kimmy's friend, who makes really cute Disney stuff. Like, she made like a Cadaver Dan's shirt and stuff like that. Cause like, that is a thing at Disney, but it's not,
It's not like Disney is going to make that.
Yeah.
merch.
The reseller thing. So you got to be careful if you are. First of all, if you're a reseller, stop doing that. I hate it.
Yeah.
But Disney can ban your pass for that, because the way resellers work, they use their pass discount to buy these things, and then they sell it and make a profit, and that's against your Magic Key Pass terms and conditions. And that's not like, oh, the terms and conditions, no one reads them. First of all, terms and conditions are like 2 pages now, which is not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's like a very clear thing. It's not like, oh, you signed up for Disney Plus, you're not allowed to sue us. It's like, no, you can't make a profit off of your little membership, which I believe that's like a completely reasonable thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, there's also like Dapper Days does a convention that has all these little booths. You can go check out all the antique shops in the Orange Circle. Like, there are all these little events, even like events like Creative Babe that Rain was at.
Yeah.
It's not a Disney event, but you're going to have it. There's going to be a Disney booth there. So there are places to do this. And so that was like my first point of like, this isn't really the end of the world. You almost like, is it worth going to a D23 convention to buy resale merch? Like, go enjoy.
Yeah. That was my whole thing, is that you were going to this place to go to the Imagineering booth and to go to, whatever Pixar or Disney Animation's doing for their giveaways with their artists there. Like, that's kind of the reason you're going, is it's almost, hey, this one brand is doing its own big event. And the whole side biz was, oh, well, I'm going to go to this little alley and they'll have like random stuff, or you'd have the, one of the galleries that's selling Disney like parks stuff that used to exist. Like there was one convention where they had the sea serpent from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or from Submarine Voyage, actually set up in the convention, like operating as an animatronic. And it's like, that's amazing. That's really cool. Stuff like that is going to go away, which is a little sad, because it's not just merch people, it's also these other third parties. And I don't know how many of them are going to exist after this. I'm sure they still will, because they're going to have other corporate partners that are going to showcase stuff. Like, I would not be surprised to see like a Fortnite pavilion or something.
Yeah.
Just because Disney's invested in them. And so it'll be interesting to see how they use that space, because that's a whole hall that is dedicated to this normally. And now it's going to be something else.
Yeah. But honestly, be thankful that there is a fan convention.
Yeah.
In a world where PlayStation Experience is gone. E3 was never supposed to be a fan convention, but that's gone. It's like, to double down on a fan convention that you can easily get tickets to. It's the panels that are a little harder.
Well, now, now that it's taking over the Honda Center and that's continuing, I mean, as much as it was frustrating, I think there was a lot of sort of pains in making that happen. It is definitely the way to go, just in terms of how big it is and how many people. Like, now more people get to see those panels. Normally,
it was
half the convention could see.
I don't think people
cool.
realize how much of a nightmare it was before.
Oh my god!
You'd just start a stampede.
Yeah. Well, and you would start camping out at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and even then, it's still not a guarantee for stuff. It's crazy.
So yeah, that's a little change. I didn't even know it was a thing. So and I presume many of you didn't know either. But next headline. Bibbidi Bobbidi Who? Starting in October, Cinderella's fairy godmother will be appearing at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort, alongside additional enhancements. More details will be announced soon.
Cool.
And then you posted some more Imagineering stuff, Freddie.
Yeah, We Call It Imagineering had a new episode
So
on
we have
building
that,
castles.
and then we have the new thing from the Imagineering story people.
Yeah.
We have
there's a lot.
Behind the Attraction, which sucks. And then
Imagineer That, which is nostalgia.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's so many.
Yeah.
But it's because was it Tom Morris, right? Is the new who's the new person in charge of Imagineering? I'm forgetting his name.
I thought Tom Morris was retired.
Tom Morris is retired. Yeah, that's why I was like,
That's why you can
it's
just
Bruce
talk
Vaughn.
to him.
Bruce Vaughn.
You can just talk to Tom Morris on Blue Sky, and he'll answer any question you have.
It's crazy. That's wild.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, but Bruce Vaughn is now in charge. So now, ever since he came in, the social media / like documentation side of Imagineering has like exploded. Like there's a lot of stuff that they reveal in these little YouTube clips that normally would be saved for a convention. And I think that's fascinating because then they didn't have a parks panel for Destination D. But like Imagineering still sharing all this information. They spread it out throughout the rest of the convention. But anyway, in this new episode of We Call It Imagineering, they highlighted the Disney castles around the world, their histories, bring up different stories such as flipping the castle around, the color scheme of Cinderella Castle getting changed back to its classic color, stuff that you and Rain talked about in the news last week. And then the very end was talking to. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. He was in charge of the Epcot project when they were rebranding Epcot and remodernizing it. And now he's the creative portfolio executive in charge of Abu Dhabi. And so he was talking about the new castle that they're doing for there and how it's like integrated with the water and, futurism, all this stuff. So it's super weird because they're talking about a castle and it's a futuristic castle. And the last time that happened was for Disneyland Paris when that was a proposed concept.
Hey, that wouldn't work for Paris.
They drew it up. They drew up an idea. Speaking of Paris, I was listening to the Disney Dish. That's the Len Testa podcast. They were talking about the Roaring Twenties Main Street that was originally a concept for Disneyland Paris. There was going to be a speakeasy there. And so no one knew really what that was, but they released new content in terms of, hey, the land that never was here in Paris. And that speakeasy was going to be a funeral parlor. And so you go into the funeral parlor with like cadavers and everything around you, and then you'd open up a slit there. And the way that you would get in, you'd say the phrase, "We're with the family."
Oh my god.
And they were going to have walk around characters carrying like a casket, and then they drop the casket and bottles of alcohol would roll out in the street and they'd hurry away. There's still a few like leftovers of that.
Would have been great. Funny. I forget which country they're from. Those African pallbearers.
Oh my god, yeah, that meme.
Nice. That would be a nice activation.
That'd be
seasonal.
So
seasonal event.
Oh god. Honestly, the whole 1920s idea. There's a lot of concept art from that from Eddie Soto. It's pretty spectacular. There you go. But yeah, Imagineering's doing a lot of stuff these days. Tron, you're excited about the Tron overlay?
Huh?
They're putting 9-inch nails on Tron Light Cycle Run.
Oh, I'm not gonna be there in time for that.
Oh, so sad.
I haven't even been on the normal one. I don't even know what the ride's like. That's the one thing I haven't looked up.
Yeah,
I've seen some of it, which is probably all of it because I hear the ride is 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's maybe even just 2 minutes. It's super short.
That's rough.
I mean, it's the speed of the coaster at that. Like the faster you make it, the larger scale you have to have, and it just it's a problem. Do you want to talk about Tron here, or do you want to talk about it later?
Huh? What about Tron?
The Tron Ares is coming out. We're gonna go see it.
Okay, does it release on the 8th?
So it releases on the 10th.
Oh, so we're seeing it 2 days early.
Yeah, we're seeing it 2 days early. It's a preview.
Huh.
Yeah, we for those who don't know, Tron Ares is doing a very limited number of double features with Tron Legacy, and then one triple feature at the El Capitan. And so you can watch Tron Legacy in IMAX 3D. And so as soon as I heard about that, I was like trying to be on it. Missed out on the was the Glendale AMC or something like that. Americana. And I totally was like, oh man, I'm not going to get it now.
Why did you choose that one?
Well, because I have AMC A-List. So I immediately was looking at AMC, and then I completely blanked on like,
so Freddie's like, I didn't get the tickets. And then I'm like, that's weird. And okay, so I initially thought you checked Irvine because that's like a real IMAX theater. Because I don't know what Americana.
It's going to be like, mid-sized.
I think Americana has IMAX with laser, which is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. I think Regal is laser. It's not dual laser. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the.
So we're still fine there. But Regal has the full size screen, which many places do not. But anyways,
Yeah, it's between, so City Walk's IMAX is the largest in Los Angeles, and then behind it is Irvine.
When you're getting the full ratio.
When you're getting the 6-story tall screen. Yeah. I mean, I watched Gravity there. I watched, Interstellar, like Tenet, so many movies.
Did you do Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer, yeah. Oh man,
that's the one thing
screen was
I'm
crazy.
happy I did doing the film.
70 millimeters, incredible. When you go see that in IMAX for like one of those films. Dune Part 2, that was incredible. That was so good.
I still like the thing I talk about the most, which is so dumb, but there's a moment in Oppenheimer that's silent, and you could hear the film ticking, which I forgot about that sound. Just like, oh my God, we're watching film. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I often have weird luck with logging into things and telling whoever said something is sold out that it's available. So then I'm like, Freddie, it's available. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So we didn't get dead center, but I think we're fine. We got good.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. No,
that just goes to show. That was like 15 minutes later. Yeah, it just didn't sell out.
No, absolutely not. And especially when with that IMAX, there's so much capacity that it can handle a ton of people and still have room. So it's pretty much like every Tron fan, like Tron super fan in Orange County was able to get a ticket.
Yeah.
There
are dozens of us.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. So thanks for pushing me to do that.
We're having a good time.
And I'll admit something that does help a lot is the total runtime is like 4 hours and 4 minutes or something.
These are not long movies,
which is good. They don't need to be super long. Like when you're like, oh, you want to do a Marvel or Star Wars marathon? I do not.
Oh man, I did the Star Wars marathon at that Regal, and it was forever. It was days.
Yeah.
It was like 2 days.
Okay, like 6 p.m. to 10:30 probably. Like that's fine. I'll do that. And I assume there's a little break.
Oh, there'll be an intermission.
We should just eat at Shake Shack before.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because that's an easy, just burgers and fries. There. We don't have to sit down somewhere.
Nah, yeah, that's good.
Cheap-ish.
And I'm excited to see it in 3D because you and I both have not watched. We missed out. You missed out on it. I went overseas to Bangladesh at that time with my family, so I missed out on Tron in theaters. Period. I had to watch it ripped on some
my
DVD.
Friends and I, senior year of high school, went to see Tron Legacy at the AMC in downtown Disney the day it opened, and we all bought our tickets ahead of time. That was like the beginning of that, right? And my friend Ryan did not buy a ticket for the 3D. He just didn't buy a ticket.
Ooh.
And then they were like, we're sold out.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Because there's no reserved seating back then either. It was just like they ran out of tickets. And then we all had to convert to 2D tickets. Oh. And then I watched it on my PSVR, but the first version of that was garbage. And then by the time I had PSVR 2, the Blu-ray player, I think, was no longer 3D Blu-ray. And PSVR 2, even if I had it in digital, no longer displayed 3D films, which makes no sense to me.
That's crazy.
I'm sure they could just turn it on. They just didn't.
Yeah.
So I never really watched it in 3D. I kind of tried it out, and that was it. Wow. So I'm excited. This is my Reckoning. Or not Reckoning. What's the other one? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited. Super excited for that, actually.
Very excited. Did you get
to see it before everyone else?
Did you get the Tron Steelbooks?
No, I don't know. I have the...
I know you got one back here. You have... Yeah,
I have the original 5-disc set.
Hell
So I have the 3D Blu-ray.
Nice.
So I don't even know what I need the other thing for.
Well, okay. So the new one is the remaster of Tron Legacy, which we did talk about. Like, oh, they can't do it. It's like they did it. I don't know what they did.
They probably use some sort of weird AI upscaler.
I'm sure they
Not
did.
AI, machine learning upscaler.
So they use machine learning, and they did have digital artists work on both Tron and Tron Legacy. They did reveal that the effects work on Clue is getting updated.
Interesting.
That it's the same thing they did with Avatar. So they re-released the first Avatar film in theaters, and they had remastered the visual effects in the movie, and it was as a prototype. Like they were doing those remasters before they did the VFX for Way of Water, as a way of making the visuals sort of consistent between the whole thing. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy to go back and upscale a movie that you released 10 years earlier. You're like, oh, cool.
Let's see, Tron Collection.
Yeah. But anyway, I bought both. I was just like, I don't even think I have Blu-ray player right now, but I was like, I want these. I want the digital code so I can actually get the 4K version. Because if you buy it on iTunes or whatever it is right now, it's only the HD version.
Yeah.
And it's only
I can literally, because I bought it. There's a Disney Movies Anywhere code.
Yeah.
on the back of there, or Disney movie rewards, and
Yeah,
then it
something
turned
like
into
that.
Movies Anywhere. I can watch Tron on my phone on YouTube.
Yep.
Which was a big deal back then. Now it's like, I don't think they have it
Well,
unless it was called, what's it called? The Amazon thing?
Oh,
The collection?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know
there's
what's on
like,
there.
there's
It's
the
just
Tron
Steelbooks right now.
Ultimate 2 movie collection. That doesn't look right.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
whatever
fine.
you have is like the older Blu-ray.
It was the original, like when they first released it.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't have is the version that came in an Identity disc.
Oh, that's freaking cool.
Dude, I'm so mad I was in high school when Legacy came out because I couldn't afford any of the merch.
Okay, and
I only have the Frisbee.
I like, for me, I've already settled with, I just need this movie to visually look cool and the soundtrack needs to be awesome. That's it. Like, that's all I'm expecting. That's all I want. I don't care if the story's good or bad, like whatever. Like, just give me an experience.
Yeah.
And like, I guess Disney is really hyped on the movie because the test audience scores were high.
Why is
so
Mr.
we'll
Beast
see.
in it?
That is, so there was an article in Variety, I think, that was talking about Gen Z men being like a huge block that does not watch movies, period. They're not interested. And Disney sees Tron Ares as a, like, let's try this marketing tactic to appeal to young men and see if this works. And I think Tron, being a movie about video games and digital frontiers and all this other stuff, is the easiest Fortnite integration in the world type of a thing. Like, that's the type of thing that they're looking at, is they want to get the viral sensation of something like Minecraft going.
Let's do it. Let's do it so Tomorrowland can have some Tron stuff in it.
There it is.
It's not
There it
going to
is
be
right there.
Fantastic Four.
No, as much as Fantastic Four,
Sorry,
I was
Fred.
pleasantly happy with. I'm literally drinking a Fantastic Four beer right now. You know, I enjoyed it. I was hyped on it. Mid-century, you know, futurism, fantastic.
We're going to talk about.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're going to talk about so much of it. But yeah, I definitely do not think that's the direction they're going to go in. And if Tron Ares is a hit, even moderately, if it is more of a hit than Fantastic Four, which looks likely at this point, that is going to dictate the future.
Yeah. But for now,
Yeah.
it's time for You're Right, in which members of the Tram fam write in with corrections and comments, just like you can, at trammin.com/ask. Freddie, cue up that corrections music, please. Freddie, happy birthday.
Hey,
It's your birthday on Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
When this releases.
Happy birthday, me.
So because you're hosting on your birthday, it's time.
What?
The first ever
Oh my God.
happy birthday Trammin gift to Freddie
Oh,
with this
wow.
sick box that they had too.
Wow. Okay. That is so
He's
cool.
holding up a Rain Spooner gift box.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a cool box. I
Yeah.
can stare at this for hours. Oh man.
So-
wow.
I got him the Avengers Assemble
Yes.
Rain Spooner. So
Oh my gosh.
I hate when people qualify gifts. They actually
Wow.
didn't have any like tiki designs. They had like floral stuff, but I'm like, the most Freddy stuff here is Avengers. So there's that. Yeah.
You know what I'm wearing when Infinity Defense opens?
Well, Freddie, there's another one.
what?
There's another one.
What? There's a shirt.
There's another. There's a shirt on.
No.
The Guardians one.
way. Oh my gosh. Hey.
Yeah, these are
Wow.
full on Rain Spooner, dude.
Oh my
I
goodness.
messaged Anna. I'm like, what size is your husband?
Ah,
Don't tell him I'm getting him a gift. She goes,
oh my god.
glad I opened the message because she just saw the notification and she was going to ask you.
Of course.
So yeah, your very own Rain Spooners. Once you
Wow.
start, you can't stop. It's a collection now.
Oh my god. It's happening.
So happy birthday.
Wow.
You get the first
the world's
guest
most
host
collected
birthday
Aloha
gift, yeah.
shirts.
yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, Rain. You're not there yet.
Sorry, Rain.
Tiki Kingdom is not yet the most collected
Wow.
shirts.
Thank you so much.
Of course, happy birthday. Thanks for hosting 5
Wow.
episodes. Dude, we started at 270, we're at 280.
That's crazy.
We've been at it for 10 weeks.
That's insane.
We're on and
that's a
off
long
for
time,
10
yeah.
weeks, you know, like your favorite high school relationship. But
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we got to get John on his birthday.
Hey,
What-
there you
John,
go.
what do you want for your birthday?
Oh,
Water?
water. I buy you one. Here's a canteen.
Yeah.
Here's another water bottle. Oh,
do you want an Enso ring, John? Because Pamela L writes in, ugh, Enso rings. My husband and I got them in 2021, shortly after we got married. Metal infused ones because the color was really nice. They're awesome and we wore them often since we do a lot of active stuff. If Fast forward a few years and my husband's ring tears. No problem. They have a lifetime warranty against rips, breaks, tears, and discoloration. So I send in a photo and they mail a replacement. Said replacement looks like a poorly made counterfeit.
Ooh.
Sizing was off, discoloration at the edges, felt more flimsy than the original, and looked pretty bad. He wore it briefly despite all of its flaws, but it soon fell off because it was way too big despite being the same size he'd ordered years before. Sorry to add to the complaining, but just had to agree. Used to love these, but now I'd love a new recommendation. I haven't bought any more, but I mean, people love Ridge, but I feel like it's overpriced. I feel like you can just go buy a pack of 10 on Amazon. It's the same thing. It's silicone. No, there's no sentimental value. It's going to stretch. You're going to throw it away. It's fine. Kimmy likes hers, but it's like a single color braid design. So it's like, you're not going to mess that one up, you know?
Yeah.
So she continues, though. On an unrelated note, meant to write this in a few episodes ago, along with some comments I've completely forgotten. We have another listener in Fort Collins. I found Trammin while hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in 2023, and we moved to Foco. All right after that, and love it. Thanks for sticking with the podcast despite the dog days of Disneyland.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I do it for you guys. Yeah, Fort Collins, you can see it up there near Freddy's head.
Wow.
We got the Fries family up there, and we got the Latherses. That's how you say it, just like the Chambers is right here. So yeah, Fort Collins. I mean, maybe, look, we come up there. I don't remember if I said this on the show. Paula, shout out Paula on YouTube, sent basically planned the trip for me and Kimmy. So at some point we'll go, maybe we'll just do we're going to do the Fort Collins Tram
trip.
Fam meetup at a brewery.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll let you guys know if we will head up there. When though? I don't know, man. Let me know when there's like a light snow. You know?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I know you can't predict that, right?
No.
But generally, before it's like the plane's grounded, the snow plows are out, just a little just a little
dusting,
bit, you know? Yeah, dusting. A dusting. Yeah. Thanks for writing in. Sorry, the rings suck. I just, I'm gonna keep beating the drum against tungsten. Sorry, Sebastian. You can't resize it. You could just buy gold. And if not, I read it's harder to resize, but tantalum. You can get...
Ooh.
Costco has a really sick one, but it's like $450, $600. But if you need to have your black ring, which is not my thing, they have like a tantalum ring. It's black on the outside, but this inside and a little of the edge is gold. And I think that's a cool look.
Cool. That's very cool.
So permanent shout out to
like
Costco.
that.
John, first of all, tie the knot already. Second, just go there. I feel like that's pirate-like.
Yeah, it's very pirate-like.
Costco.com. Buy your rings there.
Yeah.
And then you can return them to the warehouse.
Hey.
That's what I did. I returned 3 white gold rings at the same time.
Wow.
This poor Costco employee was like, is this one that one? I'm like, no, it's this one. Like, they all look the same and they're unlabeled. So you just have to tell them which one is which.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks for writing in. That's all I got for you, right?
Cool.
Wait, are there more birthdays? Did I say happy birthday to Kimmy's sister, Kayla, today? My sister-in-law. Happy birthday, Kayla. Happy birthday, Gene. It's his birthday today, too. Gene
Many September birthdays.
Gene from the Waffle Breast podcast, who we did a Tron Legacy 10th anniversary show with a while ago. Like our first year of Trammin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. I feel like there's more this week. There's just so many birthdays. Happy birthday to my cousin Anush, because that's like, I think next Monday. So before the next show. What's happening on New Year's Eve, guys?
Fun time.
This here's our Big Thunder topic of the week. Walt Disney's Tomorrowland, 1955.
Alrighty.
So the final for Walt Disney's 1955 series, a land of tomorrow. So Freddie,
Yeah.
help us leave today and enter the world of tomorrow.
All right. A vista into a world of wondrous ideas, signifying man's achievements. A step into the future with predictions of constructive things to come. Tomorrow offers new frontiers in science, adventure, and ideals. The atomic age, the challenge of outer space, and the hope for a peaceful, united world.
Keep hoping.
I honestly think that's the best speech, like dedication plaque, outside of the one that's above Main Street and his opening day speech.
I should have made you do it again because that's what happened to Walt Disney.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it once without the cameras rolling and then once with.
I don't think he knew the cameras weren't rolling. They're like, hey, that didn't broadcast.
He like give it his gusto. So we have the
more.
second one. Yeah, once more, this time with feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. So a land that almost never happened.
Yeah, a land that almost never was and never will be.
That's what it feels like now, too.
That is what it feels like now. And it's so crazy because we're not going to go over the whole history of Tomorrowland's, sort of rise and fall with time. And, every single time it feels like it's about to catch up and it falls right back down again. But it's really fun to look at the most sort of limited version of Tomorrowland, the version that Walt himself was definitely not happy with when they opened. But going all the way back, Tomorrowland was not a part of the original sketches for the park. This was not a part of Mickey Mouse Park. This is not a part of even some original Disneyland designs originally, but kind of came later in the process. And so you think that this one had the most sort of tumultuous development where it's like, we don't know what this is. And part of that is that the rest of Disneyland relies on nostalgia, Americana, and Disney IP. And Tomorrowland was something entirely new.
Yeah, it's just kind of odd that it was like at the bottom of the priority list.
Yeah.
Because Walt Disney was a futurist of the time.
Yes, but he wasn't until Disneyland. And so that's kind of part of it is like his history with the World's Fairs goes all the way back to his dad working for the Chicago one and helping build that. So Tomorrowland almost represents a continuation of that spirit and that idea of a World's Fair. It's like something that like, I want my own little version of this. And this is also right at the beginning of the space age. And so this is like pre, the Apollo landings and everything like that.
I mean, yeah, Yuri Gagarin didn't go to space till 1961.
Which is incredible.
So, yeah. And we'll talk about the rocket because the rocket was there on opening day.
Yeah.
And had we sent things to space? Yes, but we hadn't sent a man to space.
Yeah. So you think like everything else is based almost in realism, and then this is very different and fantastical and something like this is not what people would have expected. And I think this, out of anything, Tomorrowland might have been one of the major contributions to the whole like Walt's folly aspect of like, what are you even doing, man? Like, we're not like going to space right now. Like, what's going on with this? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like cowboys, sure, that makes sense. But like this, I don't know. And so it's interesting to see like this was at the bottom of the production in terms of priorities. It almost got delayed. At least there were a lot of rumors of that, but Walt never intended for it to be delayed. So there's lots of documentation that they found of like, Ward Kimball and people sending messages to Walt of like, here's this concept for Tomorrowland that kind of debunk the whole, we were going to delay it and hold it off as like a phase 2 for Disneyland. And it's like, no, we're going to do this. Walt wants it. It's going to happen. We just don't know what it's going to be yet. And so it was pretty late in the process and kind of rushed due to that. But they were already talking to different companies for leases just because of the money that it would bring in. And besides Main Street, Tomorrowland is the other land that has the most amount of sponsorships and lease deals that helped fund Disneyland's operation.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about Monsanto in a bit.
Oh my
goodness. Yeah, it's funny to think that it almost didn't happen because of what we think Walt Disney and Disneyland and Tomorrowland are about now.
Yeah.
Where it's like that wasn't important yet.
No, not at all.
Like Epcot wasn't even
not even an idea. Not even a whole idea.
This was just Walt Disney wanting to build a park for parents and kids to hang out.
Yeah.
And not be bored. And it was like, oh yeah, carnivals suck. We can do something fun.
Mm-hmm.
No cheap thrills, nothing. Like Space Mountain wasn't even.
Oh my God! It wasn't. Yeah, a roller coaster at Disneyland wasn't.
Yeah, he didn't like the idea of that.
No,
at least at the time. So yeah. they did get it going.
So they
eventually.
did. So they started to commit, and they were going to do Tomorrowland. And so Walt Disney charged Ward Kimball, one of his animators and one of the originators of like Imagineering, like a part of his original crew, one of Walt's boys, like somebody who he trusted to help deliver this process, where it's like Walt is like, I can't just pay attention to Tomorrowland. I got this whole thing to take care of, but Ward, I trust you to take care of this. So Ward Kimball was entrusted to produce and direct the Tomorrowland episodes for the Disneyland TV show that was partially funding the entire thing with ABC television. And at the time, Collier's, which was a magazine that sort of focused on science and engineering and development, published a series of illustrated articles from Wernher von Braun, the ex-Nazi scientist, titled "Man Will Conquer Space Soon." These served as inspiration for the Tomorrowland specials.
Yeah, more specials, more
explaining
Disneyland. But yeah, it's more of like, oh, what are we gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
And they're still just, it's like the fact that we hadn't even been to space yet.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of what's next is like, yeah, what is next?
So it's like, it's entirely conceptual. The idea of how do you even get to space? How do you make all these things happen? And so, yes, there was this article, and it was kind of well known, like among scientists and sort of intellectuals at the time. But this Disneyland special had a huge cultural like impact on TV. You had over 40 million people watch this Man in Space as part of the Disneyland TV show. Wernher von Braun was actually having issues with the U.S. military and government, convincing them to invest in rocketry, which is what he had been brought over from Germany after the war to do. He was part of Operation Paperclip, so former Nazi scientists being brought over to invest in American engineering and sort of, hey, we'll let you live if you give us all of your secrets and everything like that.
Yeah, like these days you could think of a faster rocket going faster than the speed of light, teleporting, wormholes. Back then it was like, we're going to shoot people into space. Like
we're going to build a cannon and we're going to put you in the ball and we're going to shoot you out the other end and hopefully you make it.
Yeah, that's like how early on it was. Like tomorrow, the other thing is like, it's tomorrow, but because Disneyland was rooted in American ideals, the American experience, it was, what does tomorrow mean for us?
Yeah.
Not like, you know, thinking of Dune, right? It's futuristic with futuristic technology, but it was about the politics and the ecology of it. It wasn't, how is humanity going to evolve? Like it's kind of there, but it wasn't.
It was just as fictional as like a fairy tale at that point.
Yeah.
You know, this wasn't real yet. And even bringing in von Braun, which is this very complicated thing. Like he designed the V2 rocket for Germany that bombed London and other parts of Great Britain during World War II, built by Jewish slaves. Essentially, it was really, really dark. But he was brought in because the U.S. government is like, hey, those rockets would be really cool if we could put our nuke on top of it. And so, you know, almost von Braun's participation with Disney was a way to project a more innocent, more palatable version of that, and a version of rocketry that didn't involve warfare and death and destruction. And so it's super interesting to see like the cultural balance there of the Cold War, where it's like fascination with space and we're going to go places, we're going to go to the stars, and we're going to create a much better world for everyone. And at the exact same time, that technological investment is actually going to be used for military purposes. You know, mutually assured destruction and all that stuff. But this special, again, was so big and so culturally impacting that it validated the importance of Rocket to the Moon as an attraction in the sort of core attraction of Tomorrowland at the time. President Dwight D. Eisenhower requested the film print to be shown at the Pentagon for personnel. I believe for a while too, they had the space station model that they had like brought over there. And that space station model from the special is now inside the Carousel of Progress building as part of the DVC lounge in Tomorrowland. Yeah,
that's a cool area that if you can pop in there, it's
you got the original Tomorrowland spaceman costume.
That is maybe one of the coolest things. But yeah, we're still in the early stages of rockets and what can we do with these? Shoot people into space.
Yeah.
And but we didn't really start there. We started with a clock.
Yeah, the very front of Tomorrowland, originally they had this whole concept of doing almost like a giant chemistry model, like a bunch of molecules all connected, and that would sort of be the front of the land. There's concept art of that. But in the end, they created the Clock of the World, and this was meant to sort of be a uniting focus in terms of like, hey, like, it is a World's Fair. We're going to bring people in and like show, hey, what time of day is it around the whole world? It becomes this little sort of kinetic icon. And this is something that you'll see throughout the history of Tomorrowland, even with the Astro Orbiter today, which is where the Clock of the World was. It's sort of this location where it's like, hey, we're going to give you this entryway into Tomorrowland and give you a little bit of the message of what this place means, at least at the time. And so the Clock of the World is a very fascinating structure. It's funny because they reference it in the little drawing of what the new entrance to Tomorrowland should be. What was it, 5 years ago or something like that? Yeah, it'll have a new version of the Clock of the World. It still hasn't happened, but there you go.
It's sad these days that like the original idea of tomorrow was the world coming together and working on science and technological advancement, and now it seems like we're going backwards from that.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, it's it was all about. Like, yeah, the future will be this utopia where we're the human race, and we're gonna think of it like from this beyond bird's eye view of like, yeah, we're one planet, and yeah, what unites us, like our fascination with the world that's gonna come. But
and then you had the Court of Honor that was in Tomorrowland that was like all the flags of all the different states or something like that.
Yeah, that was. I think they just went with World's Fair.
Yeah, World's Fair.
They're like, World's Fair is tomorrow, right? So
yeah, that's as close as we'll get to a land around the future. And it's funny because the concept art that they had developed at the time was so much more ambitious and so much more in the right direction than what they actually ended up building. Because then there was the aspect of practicality. It's like, okay, what did we actually do? Okay, I can get you 50 or 48 flag poles. Let's just throw that together in a star. Okay, that's a thing now. We can put that on the map. And it's very similar to almost any other early theme park where it's like everything's an attraction. And we'll kind of go down the list where a lot of that is the case, such as the Tomorrowland Flight Circle, where in the center of Tomorrowland, they sort of have this like little flat concrete patch and, with a little target on it. And they would have like little demonstrations. So they get like a little tiny jet plane like model, and they put it on a string and spin it around a circle really fast to demonstrate, jet propulsion. Or in the future, it would also be used where you'd have a man in a rocket pack, like in one of the Disneyland specials, take off and land there, flying around the land. Hey, look, jetpacks, the future.
That's crazy that was ever a thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because we still do stuff like, oh, look, a jetpack, and people are amazed. And it's like, we've been doing this for a while just with fuel. Now it's like, we do things with air and batteries and arm mounts and whatever. But yeah, we've had jetpacks for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is funny that it's, I think that it was like the World's Fair was like a little of a crutch. Like, oh, the flight circle, demonstrations. That's
demonstrations and exhibits. That's all we got. We don't have any money for any further major attractions.
Yeah.
You also had, kind of going down the list here, the Crane Company Bathroom of Tomorrow, which would demonstrate the future of restroom technology from the Crane Company. This was often confused with the actual bathroom location in Tomorrowland, to the frustration of many a guest. And that's why I don't believe this stuck around for very long, but it was one of those exhibits and sponsors that helped sort of fund Disneyland. And you'll find that a lot of these buildings, they were kind of, and they still exist today. The buildings that house Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters and Star Tours, these were original 1955 buildings, essentially, that were designed almost prefabbed, like, hey, this is an empty space. We can put anything in here. Yeah,
when you zoom out enough, they really do look like what we'd call pavilions now. You know, like,
absolutely.
There's just huge boxy buildings that aren't going to go anywhere.
Just fit a bunch of crap in there. Yeah. It's great. The next thing would be the Dairy Bar. This was brought to you by the American Dairy Association exhibit. So the technology of how we milk cows. Hey, look at this, the modern marvels that we have here. Dairy Bar was also somewhere that I believe you could get milk of different varieties. So it was not really a major, fast food location or whatever it is. It wasn't a quick service, but it was still a place you could go to get a little snack and some milk. You also had the Art Corner and Hobbyland. These were two retail locations that showcased different parts of sort of either concept art or animation cells that they would have. And it was a way for them to recoup cost of like, I got a bunch of this like torn up film strip. Let's just sell that. And so it was very much a, hey, here's some Disney character stuff. So you're even looking at it, it's like, this isn't really the future. It's more of just a way to showcase something that it doesn't fit anywhere else. If it doesn't fit anywhere else, let's just put it in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, this is a very cool building.
Oh, yeah.
For the Art Corner.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the early Tomorrowland, sort of in 1950s, all the way up until you sort of get the redevelopment in the 60s, you have this very white boxy buildings, and then you have a lot of color put in there to kind of make it vibrant and bring in some perspective. So it's not just all stark white with nothing going on. It's kind of interesting to see that they moved away from that and hopefully like move back to it eventually. But that sort of development of like, okay, we still need something to catch your eye.
Yeah. Shall we talk about Googie architecture?
Yeah, sure, a little bit. I mean, yeah.
So what people may not know is there's a style of architecture that a lot of us call mid-century modern.
Yeah.
But mid-century modern is more of a design style, we'll say, and very much a interior design style, a decoration, patterns, art, right? And Googie architecture, this is a real word, and Disney has used this word too, is like a subset of mid-century modern too, because it's same type of sensibilities, but it's named after an old coffee shop, Googie's Coffee Shop, and it was like a derogatory term, not like it's not a bad word.
Yeah,
but the guy who named
architecture
Googie architecture was like using it as like, oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's this architecture that looks futuristic, but is grounded in like not just reality, but the world that it's in.
Yeah.
And mid-century modern does that as well. It's very organic, lots of color, but then also oddly like earth tones.
Yeah.
But the main like design element for this is like the sweeping roofs and the things that look like that could be a space station. Why? Because like it's almost like gravity defying. Like these clean lines, but then like these weird things sticking out, like these weird arches, even like the Rocket to the Moon building.
Yeah.
And
where it's in almost abstract shapes in certain ways.
And if you want like the number one like iconic thing that you would know is that weird restaurant in the center of LAX.
Yeah.
Is Googie architecture.
The theme building.
Yeah, because it's very like
it's a UFO that's landed in the middle of the airport.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this looks futuristic, but it also looks like we could have made it. But it looks like, oh, this is a little odd, but I can see this in Palm Springs. Palm Springs is like the place for this.
Well, and it predates a lot of other like space age elements, and so it's interesting to see because it's not just space age architecture. It's like this whole era of post-war optimism embodied in architecture.
Yeah, it's not like it's not LED strips. I mean, obviously that didn't exist, but it's not about...
Even think of the design of the original McDonald's, where it had those two arches on the other side, and it's got the sloped roof in the middle, like that type of a thing.
Yeah, it's like this optimistic to the sky architecture of like, oh yeah, look, like this is new. And they use like lots of glass, lots of windows, lots of steel, and you
want to let the light into those spaces.
Yeah, and the building we were just talking about was all windows, and then there's just like even the crane bathroom. The sign for that was like the Mary Blair style almost, but just made of metal and bright colors. So this, like, when we say we want this retro future, what we're really talking about is this. When we talk about the Space Mountain style, we're just It's just Googie architecture.
That's what
Which
it is.
My cousin pointed that word out to me, and then I saw it in the Walt Disney book, and I'm like, we got to talk about this because it's stuck in my mind. Especially like I visited, Jeff the other day. You drive through LA, you see random buildings, even like the Dingbat apartments are close to that. Really bad at it, but like,
because it became an architectural trend, and so you have a lot of this sort of popping up. You also have buildings that are like their form is designed after what their function is. So you have a lot of things that are appealing of like, whatever your business is, the building should reflect what that is.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how that was all built. There's so many unused concepts of Tomorrowland that really leaned hard into Googie architecture before it became a little bit more what people would consider mid-century modern. With like the later iterations of Tomorrowland, but the earliest version is very much that mixed in with World's Fair pavilions and sort of this clean design aesthetic.
Yeah, and even like the Incredibles house is similar
very
to
much
that.
so. Yeah,
it's just it's very, the colors aren't what would make it feel this way. It's like the red and the blue. It's more like more grounded.
Yeah. Versus, you look at early Tomorrowland, and yes, there's a lot of stark white concrete buildings, but then there's a ton of color.
Yeah. It's like color on white. It's like you're not going to hide the architecture, and then you're also just going to make everything pop.
Yeah. Which is that's the one thing that I like would love to see in Tomorrowland these days. It's kind of out of anywhere Disneyland deserves that type of a throwback, because that's what everything else in Disneyland is. Except for Tomorrowland. That's the problem.
And like even the new Downtown Disney style.
Oh man,
is going straight into that, with especially the new stage, because it's got like the Space Mountain-esque spire, but then it's got that huge like oval with the supports going through it. Yeah. The monorail entrance.
Yep.
So they're leaning into it, and
they are, and the intention is that leads to the monorail, which leads to Tomorrowland. Like from the Disneyland Hotel to there, but also because it goes through town. It's funny enough, it's Josh Tomorrow who, like, after they announced the new Downtown Disney, I talked to him, I was like, this is kind of cool. And he was like, yeah, this is all intentional. Like that you would go from the Disneyland Hotel with mid-century modern architecture and like the classic 1950s and transition to California and California Craftsman to then California Adventure, Buena Vista Street. It's like a timeline.
Yeah.
Like Buena Vista Street to the Disneyland Hotel. Crazy, but it's like actually being curated. That's really fun. Anyways, back to Tomorrowland. Next after the Dairy Bar, after Hobbyland, we had The World Beneath Us, which was I don't believe that was the Circarama film, but it was a film that you could watch, basically showing you, the history of, I believe it was Richfield Oil, or was it another company that was sponsoring it? But it was sort of like the history of the earth and minerals and sort of geology. And then that would lead you into Space Station X1, which was you basically looking down on the Earth.
Yeah, that's was that? Hold on, Rocket to the Moon. Oh yeah, I'm confusing with.
This
Rocket
is different.
To
yeah.
Because you also look down.
Yes, you do. Yeah, there's a lot of looking down.
Yeah,
in Tomorrowland.
This is like almost like what Horizons was.
Yeah, kind of, but you're standing in.
You're standing. It's like Horizons turn this like looking into a window. You're not gonna be able to see this on the phone. Looking into like this window with a vista.
Yeah, you're looking out from the space station, looking down at the Earth. And it's like just like a painted miniature, like painting around you in a black room.
Yeah, kind of like the. I'm sure you've all either been on it or seen the video of the Walt Disney World People Mover going past the Epcot model.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of
the way you're
except you're just
Earth.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
Because it's an exhibit.
We'll get into it more with Rocket to the Moon, but it's very much homaged by Space 220 if you go there in Epcot. And that is a restaurant where you ride a space elevator up there, and you have a giant window, a giant LED screen that you look out on the Earth, and you have astronauts floating by in spaceships. But this is kind of the origin point of that type of an idea. And it's, again, one of those circumstances of what can we do that's going to be quick, that's going to work as an experience for the next 6 to 12 months. And then it ended up lasting longer. But it was like they just crammed these buildings with as much as they could. to get guests out of the walkways and into them. So it's maybe not, and this building might not be one attraction, but it's a series of different experiences that will take time out of your day. And so you're here instead of out in Frontierland or Adventureland, in line at the Jungle Cruise. So it gives you a counterpoint.
And this was exciting at the time.
Oh yeah.
Now you're like, oh, an exhibit, like we think it's cool, but generally if you're like, I could just go to a museum, but this was like this part of your family outing. It wasn't like, I'm just going to go on rides, because that's what carnivals were.
And that's what Disney specifically didn't want.
Yeah.
He wanted this to be something different. And that was it. It's so interesting to see this sort of edutainment aspect of Tomorrowland, even this early on. As much as it's corporate sponsored and it's an advertisement for these companies, Walt Disney and the Imagineers specifically wanted to create some type of integration that was also entertaining, that wasn't just straight up a billboard for something. Versus, you have that, and then you end up with the two more famous examples, which would be the Monsanto Hall of Chemistry and the Kaiser Hall of Aluminum fame. So the Monsanto Hall of Chemistry, predecessor to Monsanto's sponsorship of Adventure Through Inner Space.
And House of the Future.
And House of the Future. Yeah, I almost forgot about that one.
We love Monsanto.
Boy, yeah.
So the Hall of Chemistry was... Okay, was that they were originally going to have like the elements all over there, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, plutonium's a little dangerous.
Yeah, there was a lot in terms of the developments in chemistry would almost be as exciting as outer space at the time.
Yeah, and
it was almost as much of the future as anything else.
Yeah, and the Hall of Aluminum was like this, for lack of a better term, space age material.
Yeah,
at the time.
It was advanced.
It was cool. Now it's considered cheap. We're on the eve of them revealing new iPhones, and this will be out of date by then. But the rumor is everything's just going back to aluminum, because we went from aluminum to medical grade stainless steel, which doesn't mean anything, and then titanium, because it's lighter than stainless steel and it sounds cool. And people are saying like, oh, aluminum dense, like if you drop it, it's like either you put a case on your phone or you don't drop it. Those are like the two extremes, right? Yeah. But aluminum, like I would have gotten excited about this, especially at the time, because before we started hating plastic was like the cool material after aluminum. But this was like, imagine at the time when like everything was made of like wood or metal at the time, and it was made of iron and steel, and it was heavy and rusted, and aluminum was this magical light material that you can stamp and form. It never rusted, and it conducts heat. That was futuristic at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people were imagining, like, you hear aluminum roof right now, you think tin roof, but it's like, let's make everything out of this stuff. So at the time you're like, oh, I can learn about this new material. Like, it's funny how technological advancement back then was like these huge constant leaps. And now everything sounds boring because it kind of is. And we've thought, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we've kind of at least thought of or conceptualized anything we could possibly do at this point. Like now you're thinking, upload your brain into a microchip and your whole consciousness is digitized.
Yeah.
You couldn't even think of that back then because none of those things were even a thought in people's minds.
None of the predecessors to that thought existed.
Yeah, it wasn't. Upload wasn't a word, right? Yeah. Like I'm sure it was, but the microchips implanting
and
into your body.
It's interesting because at this time, like in terms of computer technology and advances on that side, that was where our limits were.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the perspective is atomic energy and the idea of having limitless power. And
unlimited power.
Unlimited. and so it's like that the perspective on the future was we will have unlimited power, but our information technology is going to be limited. We're still going to have, tubes and all this other stuff.
Yeah, they couldn't possibly think of that going turning into this.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like that might be one of the number one like advances from NASA going into sort of the space age was like we got to get all this technology packed on this tiny little spaceship so we can get people there and back safely. But it's one of those situations where it's like that's the perspective on the future is like limited, unlimited power and limited information technology. And we actually live in a world of limited power and almost unlimited information technology. It's kind of crazy that it's like that's how that worked. Nuclear power wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. But
I mean, it is. We just we were doing different things with it back then, and we haven't really gotten there.
No, not yet. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah.
And
aluminum, exciting stuff.
So there you kind of have like this whole, situation of, again, ton of corporate sponsorships and exhibits. But now let's get into other things you can do in Tomorrowland, like eat. They have the Space Bar in Tomorrowland. This is where the modern sort of Carousel Progress building is, or Star Wars Launch Bay. And this was the main quick service location in Tomorrowland. This was an automat. So amazing technology. You go up and you put your money in and you open up and there's a sandwich.
Listen, I'm still impressed by automats. If you're wondering what an automat is, Loki season 2.
Yeah, excellent example. Yeah.
Yeah, but an automat was just an old school, like the vending machine was the whole room.
Yeah.
The food was ready. And like even packaged food was kind of new back then.
Yeah, it's futuristic.
We had they just had canned food at the time.
Yeah.
And this was like you go to Trader Joe's and there's a roll of food in plastic. Like that wasn't really a thing.
No.
Because you could even see like McDonald's was a crazy concept, right? And that's just what we live with. So yeah, everything was, it was almost like the things this was all stuff that was already possible, but seemed out of reach for people probably.
Yeah.
And it was like, the whole world will be these cool things.
Yeah, you're going to walk down your street and walk into an automat. There won't even be people working there on the outside. They're just going to be scrambling in the back. Yeah, Walt Stream. I don't have to interact with any of these people. It's great. But yeah, that was the main quick service. You also had the yacht bar that had it was more of like a snack location. So you'd have like sort of lighter things to eat and then drinks as well. And that was right next to where the Phantom boats were, as well as the modern Tomorrowland Terrace. That location is exactly the same as the yacht bar.
Oh, the Tomorrowland Terrace.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say about this place. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. It was nautical themed back before you even had the submarine voyage there. It's fascinating to look at the history of the development of Tomorrowland, where there's intentions from the beginning.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's intentions at the beginning of having a monorail. There's intentions from the beginning of having a submarine. And there's these things that Walt wants that are just out of reach, that he doesn't have the money and he doesn't have the technology to make it happen yet.
Yeah, I want to move this one point up, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, let's do
that. Because this was the theme in another episode of, we spent all this money in the studio.
Yeah.
Wasn't this going to be like I think this was going to be one of the original concepts for Tomorrowland.
So
of a 20,000 Leagues walkthrough. Right?
So 20,000 Leagues was, and it was an open walkthrough. But it was a situation of, it didn't necessarily fit Tomorrowland, but they kind of had run out of ideas at the time, or things that were doable that matched that idea of the future. And so they grabbed onto the idea of sort of a nuclear powered submarine from the film that had just premiered the year before in 1954. And so they're like, yeah, we can do this. This works. This will fit in. Hey, it's Jules Verne. We came up with a bunch of futuristic stuff at the time. We can make this happen. And this turned out to be one of the more popular attractions in Tomorrowland, period. Like everyone went and walked through this thing, and you go through the Nautilus where you had Kirk Douglas, going and fighting natives and all this other stuff, from here. So it's like this idea of, we saw this in the movies and now I get to go experience it in reality, was existent in Tomorrowland through 20,000 Leagues. It was the only real IP tie-in that existed in that land. But yeah, you had the actual like set work they rebuilt essentially for it. You had a giant squid in there that you could encounter, and you actually had a model of the Nautilus that you could look out at, filming miniature that was available to see from there. So it's sort of, you walked in a circle and you went through this whole entire thing. This type of walkthrough was then recreated for Disneyland Paris, where it still exists today. Didn't get to go. It was closed under refurbishment when I got to go to Paris. So really sad about that one. And 20,000 Leagues continued to be a thing existing in Disney parks from Magic Kingdom, where it was their version of the submarine voyage, all the way to Tokyo with Mysterious Island.
Yeah, and all the Jules Verne books are about the future, but 20,000 Leagues was about like the Nautilus was about the storage of electricity and electrical light, and which existed at this time, obviously. But the theme was like in the film, in the book, like we didn't. How do you have this? This doesn't. We don't have this yet.
And the power. The thing that I find fascinating, it's because Captain Nemo in the Walt Disney film is so much this character who's like tortured. He's been tortured by essentially the East India Trading Company or like the British. But it's like legitimately like this guy who's like, I've discovered unlimited power and potential and the technology of the future, but I don't trust people to like do that responsibly or like for it to benefit mankind. I don't trust people to do that. I trust them to destroy themselves with it because that's what they do with every other technological advancement. Yep. And so it's so interesting to have that character have that message, have that whole type of thing. And then the very end of the movie, there's sort of his narration of, maybe one day, mankind will unite and be able to handle this responsibly, all in God's good time. It's super an interesting message there at the end because he just, allows the Nautilus to sink into the waves with all the rest of his crew on board and they all drown together. Wild stuff. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Really good movie though. I like that one.
Yeah. Spoilers for an extremely old movie and an even older book. The book's over 100 years old, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually got to watch 20,000 Leagues up at, the theater in LA where we watched Jaws.
New Beverly.
New Bev, yeah. Went up there and watched a film print of it, and that was really, really fun just to have that.
I still haven't watched the film.
It's on Disney Plus.
I should just do it. I did read the book.
You really should. You did read it. Good.
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I did read the
timing.
book.
Yeah, so now definitely watch 20,000 Leagues. It is definitely a movie of its time. As we mentioned in the Adventureland episode, the first real Disney live action movie. And so this is like precedes Mary Poppins, but at the time, 20,000 Leagues was a huge blockbuster. And so again, another, sort of banner feature for Disneyland, and helping Tomorrowland actually leave a mark on the park instead of just being a dud from the start.
Yeah. Speaking of duds, let's talk about Autopia.
Not at the time for sure.
Not.
I mean, you think this was probably, I'd say this would rival 20K for the most popular ride, experience in Tomorrowland. Man, kids, adults alike, they all loved Autopia. Just hopping on those things, hopping on those cars, all the stories from opening day of like people wouldn't even wait for the other people to get out of the car. They'd be like jumping to take control of the vehicle. And so just very chaotic experience. But, these cars were kind of designed to be hot rods, like little, Bob Gurd designed for these things. And the whole idea of the track and this design was that of a freeway, which was a futuristic thing at the time. The idea of getting in your automobile and going down a highway. That was wild. It was something that was just about to start in America in terms of infrastructure, really influenced by the Autobahn that existed in Germany. Another thing where,
we love that German influence.
Oh goodness me,
So I think even at the time it was cool to have a miniature car.
Yeah, miniature car, cool.
Because it was the time of soapbox derbies, and this was
That's
like
true.
Here's a go-kart. I wonder when the term go-kart.
Yeah, it's later.
Yeah.
No, go-kart. No, this predates that for sure.
Yeah, I want to look it up though. Let's just for fun. Let's see what the internet has to say about go-karts. It's just ads for go-kart places.
Yeah. Another thing to mention about Autopia, it is the only remaining opening day attraction in Tomorrowland.
I mean, how many of these were truly attractions? That's the thing. Like,
true.
I'd imagine this is one of the most popular things because it was like we didn't even have the rocket jets yet.
No. The rocket jets would eventually replace the Tomorrowland launch pad area in the center.
Art Ingalls created the first motorized go-kart in Los Angeles in 1956.
Hey, right after Disneyland. Yeah. There's no way that person was not influenced by the Autopia.
Interesting though.
Oh.
The exact origin of the term is unclear. One of the first appearances of the term is an 1885
Whoa.
painting by the Scottish artist Hugh Cameron's The Go-Kart. It is unclear why the C was later changed to a K.
Huh.
In the film Ivory-Handled Gun, they just say crippled in here. Father of Buck Jones refers to his wheelchair as a go-kart. Some stories. Man without legs on a little go-kart. Okay.
Isn't it crazy that we have like terms that we're just not sure of the origins of?
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. I want them to put Disney on here, but they haven't.
No.
I think that's important, though.
Yeah.
But
Autopia has its impact. It has its reasons. Like, and thinking of Autopia, I'm sure, have you guys done an Autopia episode yet?
No, we did the vehicles episode with John.
Yeah, that was close. But yeah, I think Autopia could get it. You could do a whole thing on the history of that. But it is one of those impacting attractions. And it's something that even to this day, kids are excited about going to Autopia and driving their own car. You can have Cars Land over there and go on Radiator Springs Racers. But, sometimes that's not what the kids actually want to do. Oh, I actually get to drive just like my parents do? Cool. Awesome. Great. My feet can't reach the pedals. Fine. But it's, that's the Autopia. I don't see them, if they can successfully modernize it with making it electric and stuff like that. I can see it staying along for the, long haul. Like, I don't see a version of Disneyland's Tomorrowland where that's not a thing. As much as it's a huge piece of property, that's kind of the number one, thing is it's like, I really can't put anything else here unless I get rid of this. But I just don't see them doing it. I really don't. Especially with all their other land that they have to develop with Disneyland Forward. Back to the topic at hand.
Well, let me finish off Autopia.
Okay.
Something we didn't think of.
Oh.
They were better bumper cars.
Yeah.
And so bumper cars did exist. So apparently they were originally tested without the bumpers, and the test drivers just destroyed all the cars. So they needed the bumpers. But this is why it was, you mentioned it with the highways.
Yeah.
This was the future of what would become, or represented the future of what would become America's multi-lane limited access highways, which were still being developed. Yeah. This was before the interstate highway legislation. We didn't have multi-lane highways.
But so it's crazy to see the original design with the clovers and everything like that. You're like, this is cutting edge. This is cutting edge technology. You might not think of it that way, but it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Now, for something that wasn't cutting edge technology, the Tomorrowland boats, which would eventually be renamed the Phantom boats. These were very hot, stinky little, putting boats that would kind of go around in a lagoon there. And I think they were driven by cast members. I don't even think you got to drive the boat. I think you just rode in it.
Yeah, there was something.
I feel like
about
there's a
that.
lot of like every image. There's somebody driving it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And they'd have the characters. They would hop on board too to like try and, hey, look,
the
it's
ones
fun
that
ride.
would take on water every now and then.
Yeah, they would sink. Yeah. But these were actually free floating, and they go through these little lagoon pathways and everything around Tomorrowland and what they had at the time. And this is like predating the submarine voyage, but having a lagoon in Tomorrowland was already a thing back then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something you don't really. You look up Tomorrowland 1955. They're never showing the boats. It's always Rocket to the Moon.
Well, and I believe the other issue is that this is a hardly open attraction because they had so many technical difficulties. Mm-hmm. So it was like, you're just not going to run it. Like there were so many things that just, this isn't going to work. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the issues is the struggles of having enough things to do and filling out that roadmap, because how hard was it to make a bunch of tiny boats?
Yeah.
It's probably, I'm going to dig a ditch, fill it with water, and I can put these little boats out here. I mean, you think this is just a motorized version of having like swan boats or something like that.
I think they really lucked out that people thought this stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, chemistry, aluminum, space station. Like, I think it's all these little walkthrough things, but I think it almost gave people a reprieve from the rides. Like, not that they tired people out, but it was like variety, different things to do. And it's like, if people got the notion of the World's Fair, or if it was part of the marketing, because I mean, no, people aren't saving marketing materials from back then, right? Like it's hard to find this stuff. Then people be like, "Oh, I've heard of the World's Fair. Let's go see the clock and the flags. Oh, what are in these halls? I've always wondered what these pavilions are like, you know?
Well, and this is one that's all year round.
Yeah,
it's continuous.
and it's already
not going to go
here.
away. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the whole thing is a World's Fair you'd have to travel to because it wasn't going to be necessarily in your city. Something we forgot to mention that was earlier on here is Circarama.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I'm like, I don't think we mentioned this.
No, we didn't, not yet. 360, film pavilion. So you had a bunch of different cameras on a very specialty rig at the time, and they would go out and shoot nature, shoot different sort of like mini docs for you to experience. At the time, it was a tour of the West. So, we're here in California. Let's just go out there in the desert and film a bunch of stuff that we would normally film on a Western set, just so that we have something. But this would be a showcase of a variety of different films over time. And really one of those things people remembered from Tomorrowland that would eventually become a part of Epcot even, that there are whole pavilions at Epcot. There are whole countries where the only thing is a Circle Vision show.
Yeah. I think Circle Vision's cool. Something, they keep all this stuff exclusive. You can convert these to non-3D VR because the way VR videos work, it's a 360-degree video, but with two cameras, which is crazy at the same time. But the point is, at any given moment in a film that doesn't stop moving, you can look in any direction.
Yeah.
That's what makes it VR. And that's what makes VR movies hard, because the point of a movie, there's framing. They want you to look at this thing. But in a VR film, you can look behind you. But imagine that's what Circle Vision is, except instead of a helmet, you're in the middle of a theater and you can look anywhere. And you're surrounded by the environment. Yeah. Because you guys have to look up like making of Circle Vision. It's a car with these cameras like think of a cheesecake platter, like, and
because these cameras are not small back in the day. These are old film cameras,
and they got it to work. And even the projection system is cool, where in between each screen is a projector, but directly across is a screen. So I guess there's probably an odd number of screens.
There's an odd number of screens. Yeah,
it's projecting onto a full screen, and then next to that is the next one, and so on and so on.
The engineering behind it is impressive.
And that was probably futuristic then too.
Yeah.
Now it's not a common thing, but you're used to having screens around you.
Yeah.
In like museum exhibits and stuff. So
I'm really surprised because you could think of a modern version of this almost like the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Where it's this type of, and that it has to do with it's a giant LED screen, not a projection. But it's the type of like I'm surrounded by. There's also it's not called Sphere. It's that experience in Los Angeles that exists where you can go like watch. They had the Matrix there a while ago, but it's also like a giant sort of cylindrical dome type of thing that you can experience. Yeah. But a lot of those, there was a sort of history of a gimmicky, and I mean that, lovingly, gimmicky technology showcasing, hey, we can do something different with the idea of making a movie, with making a film. I mean, you even think Soarin', IMAX, that type of a thing.
Yeah. It was cool stuff back then. It was, we were still in the time of like, I forget, when did Snow White come out?
Oh, God. 1928?
No, hold on. Was it Snow White? Okay, hold on. No, 1928 was Mickey Mouse.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, Snow White was 1937. So you're less than 20 years removed from like cartoons on film.
Yeah.
And like
revolutionary.
And even like sound on film it wasn't new, but it was still this thing you could think back on, like, oh, we didn't
have this yesterday, and now we have it today.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a Circle Vision stan.
Yeah.
I remember Rain's bachelor party. I was like, guys, Circle Vision. They're like, oh, what is it? I'm like, okay, I need to tell you this. Don't get hyped. I am being hyped because I'm a nerd who's never seen one of these.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be a video. But then we got in, and they're like, One, this is cool. Two, it's literally cool in here because we're in the Florida heat.
Air conditioning.
Shout out to Frank for handing out the CeraVe face sunscreen.
Did you guys watch American Adventure while you guys were there?
No.
I feel like you would have loved that.
Which one?
So it's the American Pavilion attraction. And yes, you can say it's an American show. It's a show about American history. But it's the idea that, instead of going on the Carousel of Progress, you're going to sit here. And the stage in front of you is on a giant rotating carousel with set pieces that are going to be moving in and out.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have done that.
With animatronics and everything. Forget about Hall of Presidents because that was the next impressive. I'm never going to go. I've never seen it. Never going to go see it. But American Adventure is actually an impressive attraction. And while it doesn't address problematic aspects of U.S. history, it is honest. And so that makes it, an enjoyable experience. And it still has a message that resonates, I think, in the same way that going to see the Abe Lincoln show does, where you're like, okay, I can still get a thing out of this. Mm-hmm. Same way, somebody gets, something out of watching Hamilton, for example. It's like, this is stuff that, okay, I can learn from you. We can learn from our history. We should learn from our history. So that way we can make better choices. Hopefully one day. But back to Tomorrowland at hand, we have the final attraction in Tomorrowland 1955, the rocket to the moon. This is kind of what all of Tomorrowland was building up to. Back in the day when you would go towards Tomorrowland and you'd be looking down straight at a rocket, that rocket called the Moonliner, designed by Bruce Bushman, John Hench, and Werner von Braun, a 26-foot tall rocket.
I have a correction for you.
Yeah.
Because I saw this earlier. The original one was 76 feet tall. It was taller than Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Wow.
So the original was the 76-foot tall rocket. It was the tallest thing in the theme park at the time. Matterhorn wasn't there yet. Then in a second version, it was like 50 feet. Yeah. And then we got the 26-foot tall one,
which is the one we currently have.
Yeah, we got two of those. So we're on the second 26-foot tall one.
That's crazy.
But in 56.
Wild.
In 1956, a 22-foot tall version called the TWA Moonliner 2, they put it on top of the TWA corporate building.
Oh, yeah, and it was still there for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, look at the height of that thing. Look at the little kid on the bottom.
Oh, my gosh, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Quite tall.
Man, I what I would give for a giant rocket in the middle of Tomorrowland. I just as an icon, and I get we have Space Mountain and everything, and most of the other Space Mountains around the world have corrected, you walking into Tomorrowland and seeing Space Mountain. But it's kind of a problem of where they were able to build it. It didn't get to be that central icon anymore. But I kind of miss the idea of Tomorrowland having that. I mean, it's kind of ruined by the Astro Orbiter, but having a true weenie that draws you into the land, it gives you this moment of reaching for the stars. And that's kind of what the Rocket to the Moon was all about. It was a twin theater show that took guests on a simulated trip to the moon. And so you could either look up at the ceiling and see the stars, or you could look down at the floor and see the Earth getting smaller beneath you. Kind of a fun thing. And they even had a animatronic, not even animatronic, early maquettes, mission control that you would walk by in the queue. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that's where Tom Morrow comes from too.
Oh.
Yeah, it was from that attraction from the original Rocket to the Moon. It could have been from Mission to Mars, but I believe that's where that was from. And actually, we missed something here. What was it? It was scroll up for me. I just want to remember what year it is. But this goes back to yeah, there you go. This goes back to the main core principle of Tomorrowland that kind of brings this all together. This was the future of 1986, the year that Halley's Comet would next pass the Earth,
which is it was such a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's I think people forget about it because it's every 70 years, right?
Yeah.
It's something ridiculous.
But it's people are just whatever. Yeah. But at the time, it was a huge deal. It was a celebration. It was oh, wow, that's so cool. Space. But looking at the land being set in a year, if you think about it, the last version of Tomorrowland, where it was going to be a giant conceptual plan, it was going to be Tomorrowland 2055. And now we're in 2025. I'm this is a lot closer, and I don't see things being this crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we might.
Don't date things. Don't do that. Don't even don't assign yourself a futuristic date. I mean, Avatar does that, and that's one of those, funny things. I'm like, yeah, it's sure.
Yeah, I think
sure.
I think this is why Discoveryland works so well.
Yes.
Where it's just, this was pre-retro futurism. It was like what people who just discovered electricity thought the future would be like.
Yeah.
Very steampunk and all that.
Well, and you look even at the 1998 version of Tomorrowland that they were working on, which was post Discoveryland, and they're like, okay, let's do retrofuturism again, but this time more, again, like Americanized, more, this works. I hate that they kept moving with all the bronze tones, because that does not line up with the retrofuturism idea that they were going to be going with. But you look at the very earliest versions of Tomorrowland 1998, even before they had the major budget cuts. And it's kind of crazy because you have like Leonardo da Vinci, like going all the way back, like super far back in terms of like having concept sketches. That is like a mural. And then you have like big rings and archways along with your crazy rock work by the Astro Orbiter. And you have the whole land in general, its tone. It's a little bit more electrified and a little bit more like in the direction of the 1950s, sort of vision of the future. And you could tell that there was an idea of like, okay, we need this to be iconic and nostalgic, similar to the rest of Disneyland. And in the end, they just didn't have the money to go all the way with it.
Which, yeah, common theme back then.
Yeah. But even Walt at the time wasn't happy with Tomorrowland. And Tomorrowland would continue to evolve over time, sort of rededicated with Tomorrowland 1959, which we will talk about in the future. It's definitely something we're to go over with the Matterhorn, monorail, and submarine voyage.
Was 59 when they demolished Tomorrowland?
No, that's going to be the next one that we're going to talk about. Right. But with 1959, it was really this aspect of capping off Tomorrowland and then filling out the land, making sure everything's concrete. Okay, everything's set here. Everything has an experience that's actually going to last and isn't something temporary. By that time, they really had kind of moved in that direction. But Walt still wasn't happy with that land. And before his death, Tomorrowland 1967 was already in motion. And that would be the sort of world on the move that everyone thinks about, with the people movers going, and you have the monorails are going, and everything's moving in the land. And you had the Carousel of Progress that was going to get brought back from the 1964-65 World's Fair. You even think that that's sort of the in-between, where it's like there's the World's Fair that Walt Disney was a part of, and then he got to bring it back to Disneyland and back to Tomorrowland, back to his World's Fair.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. It's always tough to talk about Tomorrowland because we romanticize this.
Yeah.
Right. But was it that great? I mean, it was at the time.
Yeah.
But would it be now? No one would go to the Hall of Aluminum, right? Or the Hall of Chemistry. And what was the aluminum one called? Funny name.
Kaiser Hall of Aluminum fame.
Yeah. Like we think we know what we want.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem with criticism, where it's like, why doesn't the company do this? It's like, because they'll do it and you won't like it. They know.
Yeah.
A lot of times they make terrible decisions. It's almost like, would you be able to make a better decision than a company? A lot of times, maybe. And did they make a not so good decision? Yeah. But maybe what we want would have been even worse.
Well, you look at it, and the other part too is since Tomorrowland 1998, there has not been, outside of Star Wars and Marvel, there has not been anything that Disney owns that as a basis for creativity that could kickstart a new version of this land. And every single time that they try something like Star Wars, they're like, but I don't want to be attached to Tomorrowland. I don't want to have to be weighed down by what already exists. I want to do something new and creative. And so Galaxy's Edge is born, or Avengers Campus, where it's like, we could do Tomorrowland, but let's put it over here. This park needs it more. And so Tomorrowland, every opportunity it had to change and evolve here in California, it's missed since then. And that's what makes this year in particular so interesting between Fantastic Four, and they tried Elio, which failed, and then Tron Ares here at the end of the year. It's like these are all opportunities for something to succeed and something to click in public consciousness, at least for Disney to feel like, oh, you like this version of the future, or you like this idea of what the future can be, because what our actual reality isn't something that somebody wants to go experience in a theme park. Like if you make it tried to make an actual vision of the future as dictated today, I don't know if it would be as optimistic as you'd want it to be. I mean, this was the problem all the way back in the 80s, where it's like, that was a time where you had Blade Runner coming out and you had a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction that showed the future as run down and grimy and sort of wasted. And that was the idea of what the future was going to be, because that reflected sort of the reality at the time.
Yeah, and especially the way things have gone now, it's like the future is in the palm of your hand. It's a phone, it's glasses, it's, it's advertised as not having to work, but then it's also advertised in not having to pay for people to work. But then we don't really think of like the future right now with this AI stuff is like, I'll say it right now. Like if you like AI art, that just makes no sense to me, because art is human expression.
Yeah.
And the point of automation is, and in this future, the unlimited power, unlimited energy is if you free up the need for labor, right? And the need for an income, you're freed from these shackles and will move towards artistic expression. It's
post scarcity.
Yeah, but that's not the goal. They pretend it is, but it's not. And so there's this whole thing, there's the joke of the person who has an art gallery because their parents are rich, and we laugh at them, right? And then we laugh at the people who don't need a job, so they do like weird sound bath stuff and crystal art. But really, what that should tell you is when human beings have nothing that they need to work for, nothing to labor over and hurt themselves over, like the human mind and soul moves towards art.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not what's being advertised to us. What's being advertised to us is, smart glasses, smart watch, smartphone, smart assistants. And I think the reason this future that we always get is post-apocalyptic is the future, and especially you see it with like new apps. It's like, why didn't they just fix the old thing? Everything is new, abandon the old thing. So like you see it in Blade Runner and in it's like similar to District 9. What's one of those? It's not Elysium, but there's
Chappie or
but there is one I saw somewhat recently where it's like we just strap things to the old thing. We don't actually fix the old thing.
Yeah.
We just go to the new thing where it's like, just forget about the old, add the new, and then, just build a new city. And then the old city's a slum. It's not,
and you see that reflected a lot in fiction.
Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen. No one's fixing the old things.
Yeah.
And, it's, the utopia is just not there because
it's not reality.
You'd have to start fresh.
And it's kind of crazy because it's like the whole history of Walt even wanting to build his ideal vision of the future, his whole city. It's like, as much as that was a thing that Walt Disney was forcing through because he had the ability of a corrupt system to kind of make that happen. And then he died, go listen to Jeff and Kirk's episode on that. But it's one of those situations of like, you just think in modern context, a lot of that idea of building a utopia or building a future that people want to be a part of comes at a cost or is impossible due to some level of, bureaucracy, government, or resource limitations. It's one of those things that a modern individual views that as impossible. You know, as almost, but not in a sense that if you created it in a theme park that it would be, you know, inspiring, but more in a sense that it would be just like, yeah, that's ridiculous. The future, yeah, whatever, sure, I guess, whatever. And that's kind of why Tomorrowland has become escapist. In versus, this is like a sort of a hard future, is what Walt is trying to be. Like, this is actually what we want. Here's a house of the future. Here's the restroom of the future. Here's, you know, futuristic materials. Here's a rocket. This is going to be in one day we can just go to space. Like, everyone can just go to space, and it will be as easy as going on an airplane. That's why an airline is sponsoring it.
It was called the Moonliner.
Yeah,
like an ocean liner. That's.
But it's the type of thing where it's like, this is what we're thinking of as the future is practical, is like doable, but also optimistic. And at this point, we don't view the future that way. We view it as escape. Like, I want to escape into a false reality, into this other direction. I mean, you know, Tron, for goodness sake, you know, a digital frontier. Like, I want something that's like completely different from my reality because I want to reject it, you know?
Yeah. So I think, you know, I hope this gave people a peek into what Tomorrowland was and how it was just kind of thrown together and it happened to work out. And it was cool for people at the time, but the way we talk about it is we just say World's Fair, right? We say permanent World's Fair, which I know that's what Epcot was. Like, we say exhibits in the future and whatever, but we don't actually really go deeper than that. Yeah. Like what that would entail.
And is Epcot the last? Did we have a World's Fair after Epcot opened? I don't remember.
They still do it. It's called like World Expo.
Yes, but like here in the U.S.
Oh,
I don't know that we have. I don't know if the last one was in Knoxville. I think it was in Tennessee.
Last World's Fair hosted by the U.S. was in New Orleans in 1984.
Wow, look at that!
Yeah.
Wow. But they just had one in Japan, and I actually had a friend who went over there. And it was super hard because you needed reservations for all of the different pavilions, and he didn't have those, so he didn't get to go experience a lot of those attractions. But it's kind of wild that like we don't have that attitude to host something like that anymore. Where it's sort of, you know, and I guess for the US, it's really turned into the Olympics, where it's like the Olympics is our great moment to, you know, feature, you know, humans uniting and us being able to kind of find peace and, you know, human athleticism and all this other stuff. But it's not necessarily a showcase of new technology like an expo is. And it's kind of cool to also see that developing countries or countries that are striving towards an optimistic vision of the future, they're the ones that are still hosting World's Fairs today. That hasn't necessarily stopped.
Yeah, but they need a better mascot. That's terrible.
Wow, that's going to haunt your nightmares. It's a bunch of eyeballs.
Look up Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan.
Yeah, there's a few other ones. I don't think any of them are reachable.
The next one is in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it ain't
That's what I think of when I think of futuristic, utopic
They do.
society.
You've heard of the line? You heard of the line, man? Let's displace a bunch of desert communities and build this giant skyscraper sideways. Oh my God. Crazy. But like that's about as crazy as Walt Disney is.
No, Mohammed bin Salman is an idiot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But the idea of like futuristic societies is still a thing. That's kind of crazy. You know, a bunch of, you know, rich people, they still want this thing.
But it's the same thing. Let's just build something new instead of just fixing what we have.
You're right. It goes back to that.
Yeah, let's just keep trying instead of, hey, just, you know, build some new housing.
And back to what I was saying. It's like we just built Tomorrowland over at California Adventure. It's called Avengers Campus. You know, that's our modern Tomorrowland. It's right over there. Yeah, that's literally like looking at Infinity Defense, and I'm like, this is just it. You know, I've gone to Apple Campus, and now I'm gonna go see the latest in transportation technology. Tomorrowland, you know, who knows her?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Tomorrowland. Absolutely. Keep hoping out there. The People Mover will not reopen. Will they do another one? That's a different story. It will not reopen.
It's not going to be by the time if something replaces the People Mover, it's not going to be the People Mover. And one of the core principles is the People Mover, you could reach your arms outside of it. People jumped out of it and died. You're not going to be doing that anymore. No matter what it's going to be some type of thing with a lap bar and a safety system that keeps you in it, because if they have to go through Tomorrowland's infrastructure as it stands today, it's got to be tight.
Yeah. And it can't because of ADA stuff.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
You just got to demolish Tomorrowland, start over.
Yeah. Will they do that, you think?
No, they won't. The only thing that this is the part that like I think the most hope I have is that the Tomorrowland People Mover gets the tracks get demolished so that Tomorrowland can look better. But that's about it. Like you're not getting a new People Mover. You'll get a new Tomorrowland attraction at some point. You will. There's space for it. They're going to have to add something. They need to revive the land and redesign it. But it's only going to be for the sake of, hey, this is going to last another decade and we don't have to touch it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't hope for the People Mover, guys.
No.
It's Jover. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a place to have.
Fantastic is also over.
Fantastic. Oh man.
No, Fantastic Four. We'll talk about Fantastic.
Oh no. But yeah, Fantastic Four is over.
At least we didn't get Lightyear.
What's crazy? Okay, that's a whole nother discussion. We'll definitely do a potential futures episode at some point. Just talk through all the failures that existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fantastic Four is done, and that is Tomorrowland. That is Walt Disney's 1955. It is now over. We covered all the lands. How do you feel looking back at the whole series?
I feel like every episode was very different in like the way we approached them.
Yes.
Where the first one we're diving deep into Main Street. And
Too deep, some would say.
Yeah, and then Fantasyland we had Anna on.
That was so much fun. Oh gosh.
And that was like how silly things were, right?
Yes.
Because it was whimsical and like how much things moved around. And the Chicken of the Sea and all that, right?
Yeah.
And then we did Frontierland, which was like, oh, this odd peek into America, and then this peek into like Walt Disney's like fascination with culture and accuracy, but then old school things of like the shooting gallery and the home store or whatever it was, right? What did Pendleton that I had never heard of, and then and how I think that's when we kind of started realizing like the things people thought were original were not even there. No. Right? Like the Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. Like that wasn't even there.
Like even something I was surprised about here is like I didn't get to talk about the Viewliner yet.
Oh, because it's not
there yet.
Yeah, like
it doesn't exist.
So
years happen.
When and then we did Adventureland, which was Adventureland was very interesting because there was nothing, but it was very like, why is this important? What's the concept of this, and relating it to the episode we did somewhat recently. And
well, that's something that I wanted to say of like that I felt we did a good job about was talking about each land and why it was important, not just in general, but to Walt Disney.
Yeah, and I don't even know if we set out to do that. We just ended up doing that.
Yeah,
and now here was just like how through luck things just came together, and how we look at everything through rose-tinted glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You think of Rocket to the Moon, you want the big rocket, but Rocket to the Moon is lame. It was like
not a good ride.
It was like a little screen in the ground, right?
Yeah.
Was it like even as big as this TV?
No.
Yeah.
It was a small, tiny little projected surface.
Yeah, this is a 42-inch, $250 TV. The whole like we didn't know what was there or not. I had to double check when I did the art this week that the Moonliner was there in 1955.
Yeah.
And I was like 90% sure. But you look at like old pictures of Disneyland, you look at original Tomorrowland, and there's stuff in the photos that were not there. So I think it's kind of nice, like, what is it? Peeking behind the veil of what was truly there and what do we imagine was there, but also not in a negative way. It was like, no, really look at the old photos of Disneyland. It was sparse. It was a little bit, it's
the
barren
trees
compared
weren't
to now.
growing it. It's like there's so much dirt. There's so much patchiness and surfaces that just weren't ready yet. There's so much that's just bare concrete because we just had to pave over this space.
And
it's
like
wild.
And it just like kind of ends like there's like Autopia. There's just dirt mounds, right? The same with the boats. It was just we dug a ditch and filled it with water.
And it's an appreciation for what has happened with time and where something started and where it is now. And so your ability to go and look, even if you looked at Epcot or you looked at Animal Kingdom and you look at the first version of it and you look at it as now and you're like, what has happened with time? Where have things improved? Where have things just disappeared into the jungle or, into obscurity because it's just no longer, it doesn't look like that anymore. And that was one of the hard things too. Of, every time you look at Disneyland in 1955, you're like, where am I? Where is this on the map today? Because so many buildings have changed or been demolished and been completely rebuilt as something new. It's wild.
The carousel moved, like
the whole all of Fantasyland
Yeah.
is completely different. No part of that looks the same. Even you think of like the Teacups or Dumbo, it's like that's not even the same ride anymore. Those aren't the same elephants. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess my final thought would be people love to say, what would Walt think? As this negative thing, as this what have we done thing. And had he been alive the whole time, maybe a different story. But in this real world, if Walt Disney appeared, I think he would take a look and he'd say, wow, we really did it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is beyond what I could have imagined and beyond what he thought was capable or that he was capable of or his company was capable of. Like, the dreams came true. And especially in our tiny little Disneyland, every space is full of something, and the stuff,
nothing's wasted.
Yeah. There are certain things that are old or, reused in odd ways, but we really filled out New Orleans Square. Critter Country is refreshed. Every restaurant is somewhat important. It's every restaurant is someone's favorite somehow.
Yeah.
Right. The Bengal barbecue is popular.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like it's come a long way. Like the forest has grown in Jungle Cruise. The animals look more real. It's and while the serious expedition is silly, it brings joy to people. The waterfall he was afraid of gets an applause. So I think he would take a look at everything and go, oh wow, they really did it. And by golly, do they advertise all my movies? I think that's a big takeaway.
Yeah.
That I think people didn't expect was it's always been this way.
It's always, and as we've discussed over and over again, the more things change, the more they're the same. It was always this sort of
it's
showcase.
It's all IP.
This thing. It's
always
all
has been.
Always. We need to recreate that.
Yeah, I will.
They're astronauts too. It's great.
Oh yeah.
This is we can make this happen.
So yeah, any last thoughts, Freddie?
No, I think that's it. And that's Tomorrowland 1955. We will see you with the next series that we're cooking up here at Trammin. And it's been an absolute pleasure having this whole discussion.
Thanks for coming. So for now, that is our Big Thunder topic of the week.
If this is your final stop,
thanks for tramming with us tomorrow. And if not, it's time for We Have It So Good, where we in the Tram fam talk about what makes our Disney trips so special. Send us your highlight of the trip, something new you tried, or a food review on trammin.com/ask, just like Pamela L. did. Been waiting for this trip for most of my life. Got to visit Disneyland for a couple of days with my husband and our sweet baby boy. He is 9 months old, and honestly, he would have been just as happy to stay home. But being there with him was such a joy. Highlights included recreating a couple photos with him that I have my mom and me she wrote me, which is correct, as a baby, and watching him explore Mickey's house with such wonder and excitement. The trip started with a missed flight and ended with a midnight visit to the emergency room, but in between it was truly magic. Can't wait to go back for the half in February. Isn't it the half marathon? Still doing those?
Yeah.
I thought they were like, this is it.
I think they have one more left.
Yeah, maybe that's what
they have one more left, and then after that, it's going to be done because Disneyland construction's starting.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy because it's impacting those parking lots. Yeah.
They'll figure it out. But glad you had a great trip. Glad your sweet baby boy got to see Mickey Mouse. Hey, some people will say they won't remember it. Doesn't matter. They got to be happy.
Yeah. And it's more when you take a young child to Disneyland. Yes, it's cool for them and they're reacting to everything, but they might have had just as much fun going to the zoo or anywhere else. But it's more for you and you being able to share that experience with your kid.
Yeah, and they had the good experience. It's like, it's like when people are like Pixar didn't have it. It's like, no, I still enjoyed it and had a good time. And that's, your baby still had a fun time.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't remember it, the fun time was had. So
I don't really remember when I was 5 going to Disneyland with all of my cousins, and we were all like super young back then, me and my siblings and everything. But the footage, the old VHS footage that we had of that, like from the recorded and everything like that, that was something that throughout my childhood we would play over and over again when we were overseas, with those memories of all of us going to Disneyland, and that meant something to me as a kid. So it's like even when you're taking photos and videos with your kid at the parks, like that's still something they're probably going to look back on. Even today when we pull up stuff of like, hey, here's nostalgic photos of California Adventure.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it's like you might not even have memory of that anymore, but it's still cool because you were there and you have evidence that you were there.
Yeah. And just a reminder to turn on live photos or motion photos, whatever your phone calls them, because that's when you realize it's so great.
Mm-hmm.
But Karen S. writes in, sorry I'm late with my Labor Day weekend report. This trip was a nice mix of the 70th anniversary and the Halloween season for hubby and I. Started late on a hot Saturday afternoon. They're all hot Saturday afternoons, aren't they? I understand why Trammin did a Dog Day episode. We were living it. So we pivoted when I scored a reservation for an early dinner at the Hearthstone Lounge. This restaurant is new to me, and I can understand why it is recommended by the Tram fam. When the shadows were a little longer, we rolled back into DCA to say goodbyes to Mike and Sully and rode the Younglings People Eater rides. Stay in that groove. We also did the dessert party for World of Color Happiness.
Wow.
Love the show and will go back. It was even more amusing because we were at table 62 or 64, right behind the bubble machine decorated as part of the box hedge. At one point, it looked like the hedge and table were boiling when the smoke bubbles were released. Karen, let me know if it's worth the money. Because I know I can watch, but it seems fun to sit down and watch.
And you get a few cocktails in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's just wine.
I think they have some pre-made cocktails that they serve you as well, in terms of your selection. That's what I remember anyway, because I remember they would bring out stuff.
2 each. So that means I get to drink 4 cocktails. We cross over back to Disneyland where we caught the Small World Tapestry projection.
Oh, nice.
This hit me in the feels, so we jumped in line for my first listen to the third verse.
Have you watched Tapestry of...
No, I saw it going on, but we were... Well, we'll talk about what we were about to do. So I was like, we'll catch this. You can catch it any night, right?
You can catch it any night because it's just a projection show.
Yeah.
I guess spoilers. But they play a certain section and it's Remember Me from Coco. And it's all of the closed rides from Disneyland.
Oh, no way.
So they have rocket rods up there.
That's amazing.
It's so good. It's one of the best parts of the 70th anniversary.
Okay.
Definitely worth whatever you think about the Jonas Brothers song, it's a good show. Like this show is good. It works.
I think the spoiler will get people to go.
Yeah.
Just to see how silly that is. So how long has the Snake Charmer played some bars of A Whole New World? As long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Ever since the characters were introduced.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Just as we were exiting, the lights dimmed. When were the characters? That was in the 2000s, right?
Late 2000s.
Like 2010?
Yeah, around then.
Yeah, okay.
I remember that was when all the articles were coming out about Tim Irvine ruining Disneyland.
Totally valid question, Karen S. Just as we were exiting, the lights dimmed for the Paint the Night parade, and we tucked into the taped off triangle in front of Small World, waving and cheering like 6-year-olds. I couldn't believe our luck. Sunday, first up, was the Walt animatronic. I liked what they did and hope they're able to mix the messages to make it more repeatable. Took the Happiest Haunts Villain Trail Tour. Whoa. This includes both public areas of the park, such as the Bradbury Tree in Disneyland and the Headless Horseman statue in DCA. We also had a backstage moment with our picture taken with a prop from Snow White.
Wow, that's cool.
Love the pin, and Haunted Mansion Fast Pass issued at what would be the end of the tour. Strangely, it wasn't over yet. Checked in for Oogie Boogie Bash and mobile ordered at Cass Cafe. I had the chicken pot pie, and hubby had the clam chowder. We split the soba noodle salad, and this place is new to me, and I can recommend. The trick is finding shade to enjoy the meal or eat at night. Here's where I almost lost hubby. The Villain Trail Tour includes standing room in the Main Street side hub for fireworks.
The left side. Value.
Yeah, but he had no interest. I'm sorry, you hit the 3 strikes with the hubby. I'm going to stop saying it. But he had no interest in bouncing between parks. So as soon as we saw the first bash parade, I was ready to move to the fireworks, then come back to the bash. This is crazy. He already reached a step limit by this time. So I saw the fireworks and projection solo and circled back into DCA for Villains Grove and other related bash events.
Nice.
What a full trip.
That's crazy.
More than I could ever do. Bonus. When we came back to the hotel, I picked up my order that Bublina Sourdough delivered. Not all those loaves made it home. Thanks again for those who report. I hope this pays it forward.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. So check out those loaves.
Yeah.
Of sourdough.
Yeah, please report in about your trips, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. We want to know what's going on in there. We're not all visiting parks.
Dude, I got so scared that it was over, that We Have It So Good was done, but I think everyone was just blocked out and didn't travel.
That's so true.
/ didn't travel in the summer.
Yeah, no, and it was, to be fair, miserable. Too humid, too hot.
Yeah.
Finally, things are starting to cool down. My birthday, it's going to be in the 70s. I'm so excited.
Dude, I told Kimmy to check the weather, and she's like, "Oh, it's the coldest day of the week." I'm like, "Cool, we're going to Disney that day."
Yeah,
perfect.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be sweating the whole day. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Christian with a K also writes in, dude, I had Discord open for the news, and then I see Christian with a K is typing, and I'm like, oh, and then he sent this. So we have it so good. Took my wife down for a birthday trip. I went to visit all the spooky people at Universal for Halloween Horror Nights on Friday. My first time ever going. Stay tuned so I can ask you all a question. Went with my brother-in-law and his girlfriend. My wife would not have enjoyed it at all. And I really enjoyed the mazes, especially Terrifier, Monsters 3, and the Blumhouse Terror Tram. I would definitely go again and probably will be potentially going annually. I should also mention it was definitely worth getting the Express Unlimited Pass, as it will let you get everything done in one night. At Disneyland, we went on a Run Disney Day and forgot that it opened an hour late. It's truly one of those dog days of summer, as one of the recent episodes talked about. Even at night, it didn't cool off at all, so seeking shelter and taking a midday break was mandatory to survive the heat. I also met Rain at his event on Saturday and got to pick up my Tiki Kingdom shirt. Other than looking awesome, it definitely saved me in the heat. The material is perfect for one of those days. Nice and thin, but it's a tiki shirt, so you can't see through it. So it's a good combo. I tried the chicken mulita and hibiscus cooler from Rancho, which was exactly as expected. 7 out of 10 for both. We also got the jalapeno cheese pretzel covered with hot Cheetos and lime. So if you like hot Cheetos, it's very good. 8 out of 10. At night, when we were in the Tiana store, Rain also came up behind us and got to chat with him a bit more before heading out that night. Overall, it was a wonderful experience, and to follow some big news. I am leaving California and the NorCal Tram Fam as I am beginning a new job next week in Kentucky.
Wow.
It's a big move, but of course, I'm still going to be back at Disneyland in November for a planned trip. We definitely have it so good.
Thank you so much.
I knew you were moving, but I didn't know about anything. So congratulations on a new job, first of all. Honestly, that sounds cool. Like to just get out for a while, you know? California's not going anywhere.
Nah.
If you want to come back, it's here. Disneyland's here. The trips will be all that more wonderful.
That's a huge part of it for sure.
Yeah, and it's also like, this is like the tiniest little lining that is silver. It's like when you're in NorCal, you're like, oh, Disney's like right there, but it's not right there. Mm-hmm. When you're far away, it's like, I'm just going to do a trip. And I'm
just going to fly to John Wayne.
Yeah. Or you just, it's not like this, like just out of reach. It's like your heart will grow fonder.
Yeah.
But it's like a totally different thing. Like, if you're living in, like, I don't want to do Florida all the time because it's such a whole thing. But you feel weird when everyone else is at Disney near you and you're not. Like, you're going to find fun things to do in Kentucky.
That's another thing, too, is, you're going to find fun things there. But also, if you're flying, you will also have the opportunity to go down to Florida now.
Yeah.
Like, that's also a convenient thing. And, and it's not going to be a 3-hour flight. So,
it's expensive, but it's way cheaper than going to Disney. If you're traveling to Disneyland or Disney World is cheaper. The food's a little cheaper. There's a million hotels and you can find way cheaper ones.
You can stay off property for pretty cheap.
You can stay on property for cheap too. Yeah. Like they're like not the best, but they're also they're still Disney hotels,
Mm-hmm.
And also you could just go visit like a bunch of different states. Like Dollywood is within reach, man.
Oh my goodness, Dollywood, yes. Go there.
Yeah. You could definitely make that.
Some of the best roller coasters I've been on. Just an amazing, like, you think Knott's Berry Farm is a nice little locals, theme park. It's like, no, Dollywood is like the best non-Disney. Honestly, I think it's the best non-Disney theme park I've been to.
Really?
Yeah. Really. I loved it that much.
You don't like Universal as much?
It's fine. It's fine. I think the problem with Universal is, and it's similar to Disney to a certain extent, but at least with Disney, I have a bunch of nostalgia for it. But Universal has a lot of attractions that no longer interest me, or even like Spider-Man, as much as it is a technological achievement in Florida. You go to that. It's a relevance issue of like, this is referencing a 90s cartoon 90s cartoon that I've never watched. And so it feels like it's from the 90s, and as much as it might be advanced or whatever it is, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. It would be as if I went on Indiana Jones, but I had never watched an Indiana Jones movie, and I had no interest in adventure movies. And you're kind of like, oh, that was cool. Yeah. All right, next thing. That's kind of how I felt for most of going to Universal. And then I go to Dollywood, and I'm like, it's all charm. It's like Disneyland. All the charming parts of Disneyland, that's Dollywood. It has that. It might not be as large and crazy, and it has a bunch of roller coasters. But even those roller coasters are charming as hell.
Cool. Yeah.
I think you would like Dollywood.
I think I would, because it's so different.
Yes.
You're not. Yeah. Knott's is nearby. Mm-hmm. We grew up with it. It has a reputation that is correct, right? Six Flags nearby, at least, is not. It's a whole other thing. So it's like just a totally different thing on a trip that is like, going to Europe is a trip.
Yeah.
I think going to Tennessee is a little bit of a trip, but a little bit of a vacation, because it's like, it's slow. It's the South. The South is slow.
And you can go to Pigeon Forge and stay at one of those resorts, and you're outside the what is it? It's not Misty. It's outside of a national park. I forget which one it is. But it's sort of, it's touristy enough, and there's enough things to do there that you could like have a 2 or 3 day, sort of vacation and make it a really fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Dollywood's just a part of it, but Dollywood's hotels are really, really nice, like Disney nice. So if you do stay on their property, I think that's worth it. Yeah.
I want to shout out Maggie L. She may or may not have been watching us on television. I keep not checking the Trammin DMs. They don't pop up the same. So I forget to repost. So I'm sorry. I did this 7 to Maggie twice. But shout out. But I did go for Kimmy's birthday.
Hey.
So we actually, we were going to do the whole birthday lightning lane thing. And then we're like, it's going to be hot. And she wanted to get brunch in Laguna. And we did that, and it was awesome. Went to Larson first thing in the morning. So that was cool. So we did go to Disney. What happened was, I think we were going to stay in Laguna. And we decided against that because it was ridiculous. So So when that was decided, like that same day, I'm like, she's been wanting to see the new Fantasmic. She's seen it, but like, you walk by, you try to find a spot. And she had said in the past, like, I want to do a dining package. Like, okay. And then I would look, but it would be on like random Fridays, and it's like, we'll see. And I searched, and the first showing was available, which is important.
That is important.
Yeah. And there was River Bell, shout out to River and James when they made it, reservation available for like 5 p.m. I'm like, cool, we can do Laguna. It's hot, come home, and then go to Disney later. So we went. Getting in is a nightmare. I'm going to send this a long email to Disney. Whether they care or not, we'll see. So we did it's a prefix. It's like kind of a prefix, but you choose still. So we started with, Kimmy got the salad, which was fine. I got the mini chicken pot pie. Solid 8.2. Nice and hearty, very creamy. The pot pie was like a biscuit on top, cool. Which is great because it was a cup. It wasn't meant to be like a chicken pot pie. So I really liked it. She ordered the pork chop, and I ordered the fried chicken. The fried chicken was like a tenderized, big strip, which was great.
Cool.
Which came with this like spicy apricot sauce, which is also great. Kimmy's pork chop was dry and sucked. But it was her birthday, so I traded because I do that. She didn't ask me to. She told me not to, and I said no. Please eat the fried chicken. Fried chicken, solid like 7.6. It's Riverbell Terrace. It's how good's it gonna be?
Problem.
How good's it gonna be? Pork chop 6. It was dry. It was really dry. I don't know what they're doing with that.
Cursed.
But I think it's because you can't serve like the medium pork chop at Riverbell, right?
No.
But then we did get dessert. So the funny thing is, Kimmy had an item on there for dessert from the foodie guide. I got there's like a hot cake, a mud pie cake thing, whatever. She got I guess they have a pudding all the time. So there's a seasonal pudding for Halloween. So it was this orange, but not orange flavored, and chocolate pudding. So it was chocolate and peanut butter with cut Reese's cup, a cut up Twix, and cut like a fancy sandwich, Snickers, and some Reese's Pieces. Dude, that's the diagonal cut in a Snickers.
That's amazing.
And this thing was, she didn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. It was a sugar bomb, but it was good.
Yeah.
Dude, pudding. I think pudding's underrated, honestly.
Wow.
Look,
transformation.
I don't like snack packs though. Like a good real pudding.
Yeah, you
underrated.
Want the real stuff.
I'd still give this 8.4.
Yeah.
But better than expected. But it is literally just pudding with candy in it or chocolate. So that was fun. Took some photos of architecture that wasn't in the original Tomorrowland because like the monorail wasn't there, but I was like, whatever. Yeah. Dude, saw some like decent merch.
Okay, so this is a whole racing collection that came out. It's in Tomorrowland and Cars Land, and they had it everywhere. But they have like a tan racing jacket that has like patches on it, and this is some like good design stuff. And I'm really thinking between this and the Pluto collection that just launched, that guy from the hundreds, I'm pretty sure his stuff is in now.
Last episode we were talking about it, and he said he's still working on stuff. So I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means, but then there's like stuff like that that's popping up that's like...
I could see Disney making that. It's still a little dorky, right? Like
maybe, but like again, he's going to be in charge of the entire division. And it's been months, like almost a year now since he came in charge, right?
I feel like that was this year.
Maybe it was this year, but it's been long enough that I think he could have some level of influence on stuff like this. This is something that's not, there's not a ton of this.
Yeah.
It's more limited. It's a limited drop. It's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, it looks decent. It's still not totally my vibe, but I'm like glad. Yeah. I'm not talking crap about it. I'm taking pictures.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, this long sleeve is tempting, actually.
It's good. It's good. It leans in that right direction. I mean, the racing jacket, and they had one from her universe that was like pink and had a bunch of patches on it too. But it's the racing jacket is definitely a modern, of the last 2 years has been sort of a fashion thing, a thing that people want, and There's been a lot of box lunch drops of stuff like that. And so, of course, Disney is doing it too. But this one, it's tasteful. It works.
Yeah. So, Fantasmic.
Yeah.
We got there not late, but like later because I'm like, I'm not going to sit on the floor for an hour. We actually did Jungle Cruise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was great. I love the gag of turning the lights off when you see the second elephant.
Hell yeah.
You can only do that at night.
Oh, man. I love when the skipper's that good. Yeah.
So I guess Kimmy never sat that close for Fantasmic.
Wow.
We used to do it before there was before new Fantasmic, which was like, what, 2018-ish or 20, whatever, that era.
Yeah,
you would just go there and sit down.
Yep.
And it was like you would wait, but you could just sit
if
right
you went
in the
to
front.
the second show, you could get front row pretty easy.
So she loved it. It's a great show. I do like it. It's still like, I'd say, a slightly emotional show with like all the cool stuff going on.
Now that they have Peter Pan back, that's the huge win.
Magic Band Plus.
Yeah.
Dude, it reacts to everything like on cue, which is very impressive.
Very impressive.
But lots of things missing from Fantasmic.
Mm-hmm.
No fireworks pyro.
Nope.
0. Where did that go? Because it was there like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So nothing out of Mickey's hands. Not even the big green flash. Nothing.
No.
So I don't know if it was windy, but they didn't cancel fireworks.
No.
So do you know anything?
I don't know anything. My worst assumption is that it's like, at least over the last 2 weeks, we've started to be in off season. But even before then, I heard a lot of like, they're just not doing the fireworks. They're not doing pyro. They're not launching flares. Like, I feel like there's so many cuts happening to the show. And now it's like, it's almost like the show's dying. Like Fantasmic with no fireworks and there's just a lot of audio and like little bits of lighting here or there is not the same show at all.
So that wasn't there, right? That's number one. This has been gone. There's no more. Is it the crocodile?
Yeah, that's been a long time. Yeah.
That's because Peter Pan went away.
Yeah.
And then came back.
But it was even gone before. The crocodile was gone even before that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, but that's been gone. But so I won't hold that one there. Aladdin and Jasmine don't go up on the carpet, but I assume that went up in flames with Murphy?
No, I think that one was
No, they dance around like all silly now.
That's weird. That is very weird because
I think they've been...
The show came back and they had the flying carpet. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so they just kind of like...
Technical difficulties.
Made fake dance flying motions on the stage with a little dance thing.
That's weird.
Let's see. So that was weird. Maleficent didn't go up on the platform. She
was just on the stage.
She stood on a box for a little bit, making funny motions at Mickey, and then at some point started stomping around, and then went back up on the box, and then lights flashed. It went dark, but we still had good seats, but just like slightly off to the side. You just kind of see her walk off the stage, which I think you do anyway when she's on the platform. But normally she gets raised way up and then shrinks down. Like I think the B mode for Maleficent, which was around before, was still cool.
Yeah, it was still better.
But yeah, she just kind of like waved and like, dude, her like I'll just call it dying animation. She's just waving her cape around and then like it goes dark and she walks away. So that was a little funny. And then again, like I said, no pyro anywhere. And then we get
pyro is so integral to that,
especially
show.
With the gloves. But then Mickey gets up on the roof.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to say some imagination and pop up, right? Yeah. That was it. He was just on the roof and then the show ended. He was just stayed Sorcerer Mickey. And then the show ends. And it didn't end abruptly. That was the end of the show.
They still did the riverboat, right?
Yeah. Oh, right. They did that. Sorry.
I was like, no. Well, no, this is after the riverboat. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
But still, yeah.
Well, the riverboat had no pyro on it.
No.
Yeah.
The twirlers were down.
Yeah.
There's got to be a budget issue with it or something.
How expensive are sparklers?
Because they're getting expensive.
Here's the thing.
That's the problem.
They're sparklers most of the time.
Yeah.
And Disney really uses half the gunpowder of anyone else because they have air cannons.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask around, but that's kind of wild that the show is, because I've heard this for a while though, that Fantasmic has like, it's non-existent. Like it's not the same show anymore.
It
by any
wasn't
stretch.
as full. Although they did some weird thing where they moved us, but there's space because they pushed people in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a very busy day.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was still like full of people with reserved seating. But it wasn't a
It's
busy
not
day.
worth it though. Like I think when you're like losing that much of what makes the show, honestly, and I felt this way since the Murphy incident. I feel like Fantasmic, it's time for it to die.
Why? People love it. People actually love it. Dude, think of peak days. It's very busy.
Yeah, but if it's very busy and it continues to not have pyro when it's busy, which has been an issue on the weekends.
I think people don't know. That's the thing. They're not usually return customers.
There are though, and they're vocal about it being like. So I think it's time. It's like time is going to erode this thing away, and I don't know if it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to get better. I assume it's going to get worse under current circumstances. And there's a part of me that almost does want it to die so that they try something else. Whether that succeeds or fails is entirely up to Disney and Imagineering at the time. But then it gives you the opportunity of, okay, if it does fail, you bring back Fantasmic in 5 years or something, and you do build the new dragon, or you build Chernabog as the new villain at the end, or you do something. You do something similar to when they reimagined it in 2019.
Do you think they would do it? They would just reboot it the way they reboot World of Color? And now we're getting Moana in there?
Yes.
But I know right now it's like Mickey's dream.
But like, that's the thing is maybe you do that type of a transformation. And maybe it is Fantasmic, and then you add a new tagline and you like redevelop the show. But it needs a refresh. There's no way you can keep running it as it does. If you're running on that few effects. So something such as like, okay, if we can't do these flares, or we have a problem with this fire, add drones, for example, over the water or something like that. There's a lot of stuff in the arsenal of Disney entertainment that they're not utilizing at Disneyland that Fantasmic could take advantage of.
I think Fantasmic could take advantage of drones.
Yeah.
I think at least Mickey Mouse Pyro is very important to Fantasmic. They still lit the river on fire.
Cool.
I'll give them that.
That's good.
That is important.
If that doesn't happen, if my eyebrows aren't singed and I'm sitting on the fence, that's going to be...
I feel like it went a little shorter, but I could just be imagining. You know, it's all the angles.
That also depends on the night. It's never the same.
Yeah, it was a little windy, but yeah, if you're saying they haven't been doing pyro, it's...
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of posts on social media of them not doing pyro.
Yeah, it's...
That's what I've seen.
And what is weird, though, is when it came back after the Murphy thing, there was like half as much. Yeah. But then last August, when Fantasmic reopened, when Haunted Mansion was reopening, Jeff and I were noticing like, okay, they did the like Gatling gun pyro behind Mickey and everything.
Heck yeah.
What was weird too, the screen wasn't up behind Lafitte's Landing.
Interesting.
You know, like they pull the screen up for the light effects and whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, not that makes or breaks the show. I was just like, oh, that's not there. It's a little weird. So yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed it, obviously, but I'm like, oh wow, like it's missing a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe they'll reboot it to focus on different things. I can imagine them focusing more on like adventurous things instead of getting inside the mind of Mickey Mouse. But that is the show.
But that is the show. So like I think that the idea of Mickey being at its core and doing that works. It would be interesting to see different renditions of how you can present that show.
The problem now is we don't really have villains. Like Moana villain is not really a thing, right?
Yeah.
There's no big bad in Moana. There's no big bad in Encanto.
Well, there is in Moana 2, but I haven't watched Moana 2.
And then no one cares about Moana 2. But there's no real big bad in Encanto, right?
Nope.
The big bad.
Family trauma.
Yeah.
That's why Wondrous Journeys is so fantastic.
Yeah.
Wondrous Journeys is like the best fireworks show Disneyland's done.
It really is.
It's so good.
No one cared about the Disney 100 film. What was that? Wish?
Yeah, Wish now.
What other things have come out from Disney? Zootopia.
No.
Zootopia, great movie, but lame villain. Inside Out, no big bad.
The last good villain. Is this true? The last good villain was Dr. Facilier?
Yeah, and we know how they feel about that.
I think that's changing too, because they're putting him on the cruise ship. I wrote about this in the Discord too, that it's interesting to see their whole immersive entertainment stuff on there, because it's kind of like the Galactic Star Cruiser. But the new cruise ship, the Disney Destiny, is going to have a room that is just for Dr. Facilier to pull you in there and do like card tricks and close-up magic.
Card tricks, not tarot cards.
Now tarot cards.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of character adjustments to Dr. Facilier, because he's also going to have representation in Villain's Land. They've already confirmed this. Because then it's like, here's Tiana's ride, but then Dr. Facilier is over here in Villain's Land. Because he's dead.
Yeah.
All the villains are dead, and this is where they end up. This is their own personal hell.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I never really thought of that happening, Phantasma, because it is a big deal, I think, still. I think people still look forward to it.
Yeah.
I will say over and over again, our finale is so much better than... I'm sure our whole show is better than Hollywood Studios. It is. Their Dragon is lame. I know ours burned to death, but even that was spectacular.
I'm worried that their show, by comparison, like their show still doesn't have a full-size riverboat and pirate ship going around it. That's like the deal breaker.
That's what I was gonna like end on. Was no. That's fine. Like the pirate ship is one thing, but seeing the Mark Twain come out of the shadows and it's
every time,
it's huge, and all the characters
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, and Steamboat Willie piloting the Mark Twain. And then like the Walt Disney World fans will be like, ours looks like the real Steamboat Willie, which is the name of the boat, right? But it's like made of PVC pipes and stuff. Like it looks lame. Like you make that for your school play.
Yeah. It doesn't impress anyone.
No, not at all. So I guess we'll see what happens in the Phantasmic. But then we stuck around for fireworks, which takes a really long time for the pyro to start on the Halloween one. So I was like,
interesting.
No, like that's the show where Jack Skellington is just there.
Oh yeah.
And then the music, and I'm like, are they doing? They kept saying, "Stay put for fireworks, not a special entertainment or special presentation."
No, it's just a long. It has long moments of no pyro.
Yeah, but there was a medical emergency happening to our right.
Nice.
I think it was a child. Ugh. They were like covered, and then they brought a wheelchair, and then they brought paramedics. But it was like you're kind of stuck there, right? And it was very weird because you see them like trying to treat someone. It wasn't like everyone get out. Like it was just like, hey, just move aside. I think it was like a heat exhaustion type thing, right?
This is the season.
But it was like a little more serious, but still like they were just like, hey, move aside. We're like, okay. And it's just crazy to just like see fireworks going on and music and a finale and then like paramedics, because they're not in the way of the show. So the show's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And then, we were trying to exit through Adventureland, and like paramedics are coming through. So then we just bolted the other way. We're like, we're not even going to stand here and possibly be in the way. Let's just move. So that was just, the reason I bring this up. It's not, that had a negative effect on our day. That was so strange to be like to see both of these things next to each other, because it was right at the gate of the river. So it was like right up front. So it was just like, there's just fireworks and paramedics. So I hope they're okay. I'm sure they are, but I hope they're okay. But yeah, then I think we walked out after that. We went to somewhere in downtown Disney. Oh, we went to Sephora, which is Kimmy chimed in from downstairs and says hi. It's like open but still under construction inside. It's really weird.
Got to keep running the business.
Yeah, and then
it was closed for like a week, I think.
Yeah, and then we actually like snuck onto the tram, got out pretty easily.
Cool.
Overall, good little trip.
Nice.
The initial heat was bad, but the refuge in Riverbell, great. No Coke Zero there, but they do an Arnold Palmer, so That worked for me.
Nice.
I did not order the mule because I had a drink in the morning, and it was so hot outside. I'm like, I don't want the effects of this today. It was just disgusting out there. And I'm like, how good was the mule going to be?
No, not good.
But there's some iPad kids there, and it was just sad. Yeah, rough. Stop doing that, everyone. Anyways, good trip. Anything you want to report, Freddie? You just been going. You just been popping in before work, which is crazy.
That's the thing that I've been doing. Yeah, the last 2 days popping in before work. I mean, it's a fun thing to do. It's like, I have an hour. Like this morning, I had an hour of time. You know what I did? I went up and I hit Indiana Jones because it was closed the whole morning, and then it opened right when I got there. Like I was like, yeah, I'll go over here to Jolly Holiday and get like a cinnamon roll and a breakfast sandwich. And it's like, oh, Indy just opened? Yeah, no, I'm going over there. Walked right on the ride. Didn't stop walking until I was in the vehicle. Fantastic. And then
we rode Indy.
Oh,
single rider.
Go.
Cool. And I was next to a live streamer, and that bothered me to no end. And I need to get rid of that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You talked about it. Please stop filming on. Like, I get when like LMG vids or like one of these people,
you know what? Not worth it. Not worth it. Whatever.
They do a better job than Disney does of documenting the rides.
Yeah, but
live streaming, I can't. Honestly, almost with anything, it's like I rode Pirates of the Caribbean on Monday, I think, and it was the other day. It was on Sunday, but like there was somebody in front of me with their phone out and they were filming, and it was just like their screen's black because their phone didn't have low light enough to like capture anything. So I'm like, I just see the annoying LED glow on Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, please stop, please.
And they have a gimbal.
Just enjoy the ride.
And it's going to fall off and the ride's going to stop. I think them banning it on Mickey and Minnie, I hope that's a start.
I hope so too. In Japan, it's that way. In Japan, you can't film on rides. You can't have your phone out.
That's a rule.
Yeah.
Live streaming is illegal in Japan, I believe.
That's awesome. Love that.
Yeah, because of people's faces and whatever.
Yeah, privacy. It's important.
Yeah. And
what a concept. They have that, and people will wear masks when they're sick.
Yeah. Oh, so let's not get into that.
What a society.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that was annoying, and I think I had this thought of like, why are you coming to Disneyland to make money?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a topic I don't want to do because it's just going to be negative and sad. But like, it's a park, it's not making like, it's one thing to do something outside.
Yeah.
Right. You have Disney clothes. You have a podcast. You have a YouTube channel. I know YouTube channel requires footage, but it's like, it doesn't need to be the thing is Disneyland is someone else's business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why does it become yours? And it's not like reporting on it is different because you're doing news, and then you might say like, well, people do sports content. It's like, but different things happen every night in sports.
Yeah.
Disneyland is a place where people go to enjoy themselves, and it's one thing to turn your hobby into work, but now they're kind of turning my hobby into work and our hobby into work. Like, we're at Disneyland. And people are just out there like, thanks for the super chat, Lamo65.
Jeez.
So
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. And I think that's a valid criticism. I can complain about people taking selfies, but now I'm just being an old man yelling at clouds. But the live streaming, gotta stop.
It's once it intrudes on your enjoyment of a space that it becomes a problem.
I think it's because, you know how it's annoying when someone's on a phone call?
Yeah.
It's because that person is like acting like they are in another space. And you don't even think about it deeply. It's that because you're acting like you're in another space, you're not blending into the space you are at. You're standing out in a negative way. When you're live streaming, you're talking to other people who aren't even there. When you're talking to people who are there, your voice is different. The volume is different. You're having a conversation. You're not disconnected from this place. And I think maybe that adds to the annoyance, maybe even subconsciously, of like, this person's intruding. You know, where loud people, you're like, oh, they're loud, but like, you know, the kids are having fun.
You can excuse
when
it. Yeah.
when kids are screaming at Chuck E. Cheese, but you're at Chuck E. Cheese, where kids, where a kid can be a kid. You know,
no, I love anytime that I'm on a vehicle with kids. Like you're riding like Pirates or you know, Jungle Cruise, whatever, and the kids are reacting to things, and you're like, it's a part of the magic of you see one generation sharing with the next the things that they grew up enjoying. And they're getting to like have for these first experiences that you've had 1,000 times. Like, you're not going to get upset about that. If you get upset about that, then you just probably shouldn't go to Disneyland.
Yeah, like if it was my only time on Indy, this would have annoyed me. There's a while ago where, you know, when adults are just screaming on purpose, it's annoying.
Yeah.
But there was this like group of like 6 children, and they're all screaming their heads off because they're just scared out of their minds of
So
Indiana
good.
Jones, and it was so funny to me.
Yep.
And then like even like this last time we were on Indy, somehow the ride didn't shut down. This old man's hat flew off and it hit someone in the face behind us, but like we found out when getting to the loading area or the unloading area, and everyone's laughing because it's like, oh, that ride was wild and my hat flew off.
Yep.
You know, and he was wearing, it was like a, you know, like a half-life fedora type thing, you know? So it's funny.
That's good.
It's a shared experience.
Well, even today, I think like, so when I was on Indy, there was a bunch of young women behind me, and they all started singing the Indiana Jones theme when we're going up the stairs towards the main room. And I was like, okay, this is good. Like, it's like everybody's just having a great time here, you know? It's like, that wasn't annoying to me. It added to the experience because it's a shared one. It's the same reason that like you go to a Marvel movie and everyone reacts to something. It's like, oh, okay, this is a part of it. This is kind of what I, you know, if that happened in Oppenheimer, that would be different.
Yeah, it's kind of like when someone's doing it on purpose, it's different. Like when someone screams in Haunted Mansion and you can tell that they're kind of like, wasn't that so wacky? It's annoying. But then a bunch of people just kind of singing the Indiana Jones theme because they're excited. I think just as a human, you could tell when people are being genuine, and it doesn't, things that like may disturb you don't annoy you. It's just out of the ordinary, but it's funny. It's whatever. So all in all, say, don't live your life through a screen. And if you're not at Disneyland and you need that hit, listen to a podcast instead of watching a live streamer, you know? So.
Yeah. And there's a lot out there. So just go, there's plenty of ways to relive that. Listen to background loops. That's a good one. I like that one. You just throw that on the background, you just chill, relax.
Shout out Super Hot Larry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a good one. Anyway, within an hour, because I only had an hour from Anna starting her shift to me starting mine, I managed to do Indy, I managed to do Single Rider, Matterhorn, and Space Mountain. And then make it back in order to get a breakfast burrito from Tiendita, which is phenomenal, and Starbucks for us both. So that was good.
Nice.
It was a good day. Yeah. But yeah, just been super busy opening up Lucky Tiki bars. Let's go. Crazy time. Crazy work. Lots of investment, but really good. We keep joking every time we do like sort of a show that it's it's like welcome to the Rainforest Cafe. But I have this whole theory that I'm kind of building up on that like our generation longs for the Rainforest Cafe. We yearn for the themed restaurants of our childhood.
Because we Rain and I talked about it with like the corporatization of like fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
Everything's just gray.
Literally the prime, like the peak of this is the whole situation that happened with Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
that's it. Like it's like
when Hot Topic turned white inside, you know?
Rejection. We're done with it. Like let's go back. Like let's go back to back
to maximalism.
Maximal. Yes. You guys were talking about this in the last episode, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was. Yeah, I'm like, I'm with you. Amen to that, please. I mean, this is part of me. Like, again, I love tiki bars. I love immersive spaces. I love themed entertainment. It's like, this is all maximalist entertainment.
Yeah. Like, I think everything has its place. Like Great Maple has this odd minimal theme,
Yeah.
but it's juxtaposed with like the green cloth walls, and it has a whimsy to it.
Yep.
I think
The freaking grayscale paintings of Pixar characters.
Yeah, there's something there. I think.
Yeah, there is
Well,
very
like,
much something there. There's an identity there.
Yeah,
But you want places you want to go to some place and have it be memorable and have something that you're like, I had an experience. And when you go to the same fast food restaurant or the same restaurant and it's all the same earth tone beige, it loses all meaning.
it's
And especially it's even worse if the food is bland too. Then the whole thing's bland.
Listen, I would take beige at this point. Now it's just gray. Gray. Yeah.
Anyways, anywho,
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been up to. So.
Well, it looks like it's
Pizza time.
time for one last bite. What's beyond the yellow line for you? What are you looking forward to? You know what? I'm going to shrink the question. What's the one big thing, like your must for your birthday
Oh yeah.
on Wednesday? Like what? We know what you're doing. We know what's on the agenda, but what are you like? This is what's going to make it my birthday.
So really, I want to go, and there's two places to do this. It's like I either want to go into Blue Bayou or I want to go into Carthay Circle with just me and Anna and just like have a really, really good meal. And I'm the only reason it's like Carthay Circle or Blue Bayou's on there is because last time we tried to go, didn't work out. And it's like, I really just want to get in there and like get my hurricane. That's not the best cocktail ever because, you know, it's not that it's pre-made, but it's just not the best. But like, I just want to sit in that space and just enjoy that. And if it's not that, sitting in Carthay Circle, and if it's just the two of us probably being in the main room in there, that's like super ornate and well themed. It's like, it's not Club 33, but it's a really nice experience that pulls away from the park. It's that moment where like, yeah, we're going to get Lightning Lane multipass and we're going to go, you know, hit a bunch of rides and like have the best day ever. But like getting that moment to take a break for 2 hours and just enjoy each other's company. That's the thing that I'm going to take away as like a moment of value. And you know, it's going to be great to like hang out with everybody later in the day. You know, I invited my siblings to come over to downtown too. And it's like, yeah, let's all hang out. Let's all have a good time together. You know, that's what I want. I want to spend time with the people that I love and who I have in my life. But having that one moment with Anna where we're going to go to a place and just like be able to escape from it all for a little bit is going to be nice.
Is that like your lunch plans?
That's our lunch plans. Yeah.
That's not, dude. Sometimes a fancy lunch is nice, you know.
Yeah. Especially on like these hotter days where you're like, let's just get out away from it all.
By chance, like my last 2 birthdays at Disney, we did Carthay Circle Lounge, where we walk in and go to the lounge and eat a bunch of little appetizers, and it's like it's awesome because then you're like, ooh, I feel good because you didn't get big plates and you know, mud pie at the end. And you head out for the rest of the day.
Yeah, Anna and I love, we've done it, I think twice, where we've gone and actually, so we've done the lounge several times, but we've gone to the actual restaurant and gotten a single entree and some drinks, like just split the one entree. And it's been enough, like from financial space. It's like, it's an expensive restaurant and that's been enough for us. But it's like, it is that moment of like, you know, yeah, I just want to feel nice and not feel like I'm in a theme park for a second, even though I'm there. But it's like you came there. It's like because you had that moment of escape, it helped fuel the rest of the day. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, since we'll be there Wednesday, I'm looking forward to you telling us what we're doing.
Cool.
You've always got a plan at Disney. It always works out because you won't wait in anything dreadful.
No.
You know, the longest we've done is we waited for Rise, but it was like the morning and it wasn't hot, and we're like, yeah, okay. And I think that was my bachelor party too. We were all just like, we're here all day. So yeah, it's fun to follow you around. Oh, I like teased this and then forgot. Okay. I don't know what really to do with Tramtober because I've done it all, guys. We've done it all. I'll probably talk about Haunted Mansion again because it's a little different and there's a new story a little bit. There's a store.
The store is something to go over.
Yeah. So maybe that's one of them. John says he's going to come up with something. People keep requesting horror nights. I've never gone and I'm not going to go. And And I'm the one who's here every week. So I don't even know what I would say. I would,
I think it would be so interesting to take you to HHN.
I'm completely uninterested in it.
Like, not even so this is like the first time I went to a horror thing. It was not Scary Farm, and it was not like, I don't like horror movies. I don't go to see horror movies in theaters. I don't care what these brands are. When I go to HHN, I'm like I maybe know what a quarter of this stuff is.
I don't,
and that's just cultural. It's not like that I care.
Mazes bore me.
Each one, I'm like, it's a walkthrough experience.
I don't care for walkthrough experiences, I think.
I wish there were more of them. And especially, it's like, these are live actors and they have like cool elements. And they're like, there was a moment in the Universal Monsters maze, which was my favorite last year, even though it was not most people's favorite. But it was my first time seeing that. And there was a 9-foot like Frankenstein that jumped out at me. And I was like, that guy's taller than me. That's crazy. There's just moments that you're like, oh, that was interesting how you did that. Like, and you are like I go in from an observation perspective. And so I don't react as much as like other people are like freaking out around me. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. The one that was the worst was the Weekend maze, because that had a lot of body horror. And there were certain ones where you're like, yeah, that's going to make me queasy. But it was like, that's impressive. That's a lot of blood. Wow.
I just love that The Weeknd has a maze.
yeah. Isn't this year there's like a WWE one or something like that? And as has been mentioned, the only way to experience, if you're doing one day, you have one day to go to HHN. Yeah, buy that. Yes, it's expensive. Buy the Express Pass. It also works on the rides, I assume. So it's nice if like you don't go to Universal very often, like just go hit those rides because you're going to walk on everything. But yeah, otherwise those standby lines are legendarily bad.
So I didn't bring this up in the group chat just because I sent it and then I like moved on with the day. And Jeff backed me up, so I was like, cool. You sent the Main Street photo.
Yeah.
I think the difference is that when you're waiting in the HHN lines, it's just like crowd barricades in a switchback,
Yeah.
Like old haunted mansion was like bad enough. Like imagine if it's just like, and like, not that you can theme barricades, but just like the ones at a rave with no cover on them,
Yeah,
like,
and you're all down there with alcohol. Like you're just all down there getting drunk and waiting for a maze.
The people.
Yeah.
That's the crowd. Not you guys, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm not gonna go. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't afraid.
Will you go to Not Scary Farm?
I've been.
Yeah, and it's still not your thing.
I've been, and like it's fine, but it's almost like it's so dark that it's like, where am I? What am I doing?
Love it. Love it so much. Dude, when they did the depths and it was like freaking like a submarine bathysphere, and then you had the moment where it was like they used lasers and fog to make it look like a swamp and they had monsters coming up. I was like, this is so cool.
You know what else I don't like? I don't like not being scared. So those people who like are very vocal about like, this doesn't scare me in the maze, I'm like, that's annoying. Right. I'm not that person, but I also don't like being the person not reacting, and not from like a people are judging me point of view. I'm like, that takes the fun out of this.
Yeah.
For me and for the actors and for everyone. It's like, I'm not part of this experience. I'm just walking through, and I'm not like a Mr. Brave Soul over here. Right. I'm just like, it doesn't do anything for me. And so that's why I don't care about it. I'm glad I hate even the term, like, the phrase, I'm glad it exists. Like, no, that stuff's great. I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and when I sent the Main Street photo, it was more of like,
no, I know. Like, I'm not like pushing back.
No, and I know you're not, but it was more of like, okay, here's Main Street and here's a corral at HHN. And it's both can be absolutely miserable that you're in those crowds, but it's also like, you've chosen to be in these spaces, and these are spaces that people love. So it's like I know that I'm going to be waiting over an hour for this horror maze, but I'm a real fan of the Poltergeist or Fallout. And yeah, you know what? I'm willing to wait over 2 hours for a Fallout immersive experience.
Yeah, see, I'm not willing to wait 2 hours for anything, but
like I'm only going to do this once. cool, sure, whatever. This is the other thing of like buying Express Pass. You're doing this once. I want to do everything. I want to have a great experience. Cool. I'll pay for that. That's fine. People do this exact same thing. They pay for the exact same thing when they go to Disneyland on a crowded day.
So for me, it's like, well, at least after I get through the crowds on Main Street, I go on Space Mountain. Whereas it's like, I'm going to wait in these crowds, or, I would, if I was somehow ended up there, I would buy the pass, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but then at the end is something I still don't care about. So
that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, as much as I would want you to like go and have a good time, because we would be going and having a good time all together. And that's kind of part of the fun, is like you go with your crew.
Well, Jeff's not going again.
No, he's not.
So
I don't blame him for that. He had an okay time, but he had not, I didn't think it knocked his socks off. But he did it. It's like, I did this thing. And we had a bunch of margaritas before then, because that was the way of doing it. But like, again, we talked about Dollywood. It's like, that's a place that Kirk would actually go to and have a good time. And that's actually like, that's a good recommendation. Like, it's like, I would never force you to go to HHN with us.
I mean, like, good luck anyway, but forcing me to do anything. But like, yeah, it's, so the point is Tramtober.
Yeah.
It's not going to be HHN.
No.
If you have ideas, guys, we will. Look. If you don't have ideas, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. And if you want to hear John and I review HHN after we go, I'm sure we can figure out a way to make that happen. But
yeah, I don't think it could be. It's like, if you guys wanted me to like interview you about it, or
that's
something,
also a fair
it could
thing,
be something.
yeah.
But I don't think it would be like a Tramtober episode. I think we'd sit down for like 45 minutes and then call it, and then go eat burgers or something.
There would be too much to talk about. It would not be 45 minutes.
No, like it would just be a topic only.
Yeah,
it would
be a topic. Yeah,
but it's also like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you got some microphones. Record it at your house. I could post it.
We might just do something like that.
Tramtoberverse.
We might even freaking like record it on our phones when we're at HHN and just have it be that type of a fun immersive.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Yeah,
but yeah, as far as Tramtober episodes, write in. But like, we've done the spooky rides already. Like,
I mean, I can talk about Phantom Manor in Paris, best version of Haunted Mansion there is.
But I can't. I've only been on 2 haunted mansions, and they're both in the same location.
You didn't even go on the one in Florida, did you? No,
we didn't make it a Magic
It's
Kingdom.
the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm starting to brainstorm in my own brain. But if you got something, let me know. But also, if you got something and you're gonna be really sad if I don't use it, don't send it to me, because you never know. But I do appreciate you all. That's all we got. So, Freddie, for the last time ever, for all of eternity, because you're never invited, say goodbye to the people.
Thanks for listening to Trammin, a Disneyland podcast. Thanks for joining us for Walt Disney's Disneyland 1955, and we'll see you all real soon.
And I'm going to say it again, because Freddie keeps stealing my line. See you real soon. Bye.
Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit to the Disneyland Resort. Please lower your head, watch your step, and exit to the driver's right-hand side only.